Zago, my friends. Uh, Continue. Let's go from safe point. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Is the prosecution ready? I was just thinking, is this what all the fuss is about? Bit of a buzzkill, really. Buzzkill? Is this some new kind of crime? One of the worst. This is a trial, right? Yeah. Where are the sweet, sweaty palms, the pounding hearts? A Gaviner's concert's got 10 times the thrill the gigs got. Who? Where are you again? Clever, Gavin. I came to get the party started legally, yeah. Gavin, defense attorney Christopher Gavin says, figures my bro's name famous in this part of town. Clever Gavin. Let's lead singer for the mega hit band, the Gaviners. You're out of your league, rock boy. I know what you're thinking. You're out of your league, rock boy. Sure, my debut single, 13 Years Hard, Time for Love went platinum. Overnight? Well, that's just a hobby to me compared to this, yeah. Talkative, aren't you? I like your affected Euro rock accent, by the way. I'm just getting warmed up. Her attorney, right. Perhaps you would be so kind as to fill us in on the case. Tom, baby, time to call on the opening act. What was his name again? Yes, Detective Gumshoe. Hit it! Gumshoe? Nice! Nice! And you were the one who called me up here, sir. Name's Dick Gumshoe. I'm a homicide detective down at the precinct. Detective Gumshoe, long time no see. Hey, you. Huh? Me? Today's the day, pal. Today I win and you lose. I got confidence in my testimony today, see? What? You normally lack confidence in your testimony? Herr Detective, this is my stage. Can the antics? Huh? All this hey you and such. And I could care less about you history together. Ugh. Very well, Detective Gumshoe, if you would. Please tell us about the case at the hand. It happened 6 days back in a room at the General Hospital. The facts are as simple as they come. Here's the crime scene. The victim was a patient asleep in a hospital bed. The killer comes in, puts a pistol in to his forehead, and bam, lights out. Them's the facts. Not so long ago, the victim, Magnifique Gramarye, was a famous man. He had the entire country under his magical spell, as it were. Ah, yes, the great magician. He retired years ago, though. They say the Magnifique to one of my generation, and you'd be lucky to get a blank stare. Yes, though I'm sure the youngsters today know his disciples even better. And there's a trope Gramarye has made quite a name for themselves. Anyhow, the retired Magnifique's been in the hospital for the last year. What was it? More ignorant tutor or something. Doing something to his liver, I think. Yeah. A malignant tumor, perhaps. In other words, he had liver cancer. He had only 3 months left to live, in fact. Okay. Let's be malignant tumor given 3 months. Touch this jackpot of the details. Progress to a final stage with no hope of recovery. Patient has 3 months to live. Patient has chronic diabetes. Requires regular insulin. Okay. The facts do seem simple enough, but something's not right. The victim was already climbing a 3-month stairway to heaven. Why not wait for him to knock on heaven's door? Why shoot him? I wouldn't have put it quite so lyrically, but it's true. Why make the effort to commit murder when the victim was about to die? Incidentally, the victim had a serious case of diabetes. In fact, he was about to shoot up with insulin. When he was shot with a pistol, the syringe was found at the crime scene. Chronic diabetes and cancer. As much as it pains me to say it, the victim was clearly at the end of his life. Small syringe. I believe the question before us is clear then. Has been washed and shows no signs of use. Wait, so shows no signs of use? I always hate getting needles. I guess McAfee was giving himself the insulin shots. There's no way I could do that. Shut up. Wait. McAfee used this to inject his insulin. Why are there no traces of it having been used? Something to keep in mind. Why did the killer have to shoot this dying man? What reason could he have had? Very well, detective. Perhaps you can enlighten us as to the circumstances of the shooting. Yes, sir. Actually, the victim kind of ordered the defendant to do him in. A few days before it happened, the victim sent a letter ordering his own murder. The defendant did what was asked of him and shot the old man in the forehead. The bullet was fired from the pistol found at the scene, no doubt about it. And the pistol definitely belonged to the old man, sir. What? You're saying the victim ordered his own shooting? Those are the facts. I have here the letter in question. 2 bullets to stack. Oh. Very unusual indeed. To my beloved student Zach, to you I entrust the task of lowering my life skirting. Come on, the 11:05 p.m. I will ready a gun with which you will shoot one shot square in the forehead. You cannot refuse, and we both know the reason why. Although you could such a thing as a letter really cause one to pull a trigger, I wonder. I believe the answer to that question can be found at the end of the letter. You cannot refuse, and we both know the reason why. Detective Gumshoe, can you explain this to the court? Unfortunately, even the defendant won't say a peep about that bit, sir. One thing bothers me about this. Why didn't he just say 11? Why have him come at 11:05 without some specific reason? The devil is in the details, Herr Attorney. Well, was there some reason? As it turns out, there was. Every night for half an hour starting at 11, the victim, Magnifique Gramarye, was given an IV. There it is in the picture to the side of the bed. At 11, a doctor would come set up the IV. 30 minutes later, he would come back for the empty bag. This happened every night without fail. So that was the only time they could meet without the chance of an untimely interruption during his IV. Very well, shall we begin? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination if you would. What's this reason he couldn't refuse, I wonder? He could have at least mentioned it to me. Okay, let's see here. How can you be so sure? Hey, you gotta learn to stop relying on people to do your thing for you, pal. Learn to think for yourself, get that knocking cracking. You failed to grasp the concept of questioning, detective. First, we got this letter. It says shoot in the forehead, loud and clear. I can see that, but I still wouldn't do it. Well, maybe you need to grow yourself a backbone, pal. You failed to grasp the concept of shooting people is bad, detective. You also found the defendant's pistol at the scene. The trace of a gunpowder residue shows that it had been fired recently. Well, Mr. Wright? As far as I can tell from looking at this photo, there seems to be no issue with the prosecution's claim. The photo, maybe there's something in there I can use. So they're saying the defendant shot the victim in the forehead. I think there's a hole in the prosecution's argument that clearly Mr. Enigma. Yeah, hey, that's a door that shot something else, man. Look at this photo, another possibility occurs to me. Yes? What does the letter tell us? That the defendant had a reason he couldn't refuse his teacher's wishes. Bingo, pal. That's why the defendant popped him one in the forehead. Oh, the defense disagrees. You see, the defendant had another choice he could make. What? And you can prove that with this photo? I can prove he had a choice, yes. The defendant might have been fired like he was ordered, but he didn't shoot the victim's forehead. Well, let's hear what you're thinking, Mr. Wright. If he didn't shoot the victim's forehead, what did the defendant shoot? Take that! That one there. The clown doll? Take a closer look. See? It's been shot in the forehead too. Oh, there's a hole in its forehead. Yes, and a hole in the prosecution's claim. And I suppose you have a reason to ask as to why he shoot the clown doll? He didn't just shoot the doll. He shot the doll's forehead. His forehead? Oh. Let's read the orders once more, shall we? You will shoot one shot square in the forehead. Which is exactly what he did. He shot the clown's doll square in the forehead. Defense has raised an intriguing possibility. That hole in the clown's forehead, it definitely looks like it was shot. Bailiff, send someone to investigate this matter. I mean, I'm impressed, but I expected nothing less. Still, this doesn't mean he didn't shoot the victim. Perhaps he did have to shoot a forehead as ordered, but the letter says nothing about whose forehead. This was the only way he had to follow his orders without taking a life. The bullet hole in the clown's doll forehead does demand explanation. Might very well be a clue, but yet Prosecutor Gavin is right. It alone doesn't not prove the defendant's innocent. You cannot say for sure the defendant didn't shoot the victim. So sad, Mr. Wright. How sad it is to see the mighty fall. How sad it is to see the novice overconfidence. Doesn't realize just how big this little hole is going to get. Detective Gumshoe, please take this new fan back into account as you continue your testimony. So what if he shot the clown? He still shot the victim? Yeah, but if there's two holes, they was shot. I mean, this pistol, the one in the crime scene photo? That's the one. It's a funny looking gun, so there's no mistaking it. We compared the bullet taken from the victim's skull with the bullet fired from this gun. The rifle marks on the bullets were a perfect match. So, you verified the murder weapon in other words. You bet we did? Why are you so certain? What part of sand has your pal had been stuck in all this time, pal? You never heard about Zack and Valent quick draws shoot 'em? Huh, what's that? One of the defendants' the specialties. Zack and Valent stand on either side of a girl, then they shoot. But the bullets don't hit her. Instead, they hit everything else on the stage. This was one of the pistols they used in the show. Got a great design, huh? The kids love it. Many boys and girls joined the police because of that pistol, I hear. No, that will explain a lot about the police force. Shop Kramer stopped doing that act a while ago. The old man held onto that pistol ever since. The court would like to see the pistol in question. You got it, sir. Here she is. Well, this truly is a blast from the past. It's a stage pistol for a magic show. See? But it can fire real bullets. It looks so much bigger in real life than on TV. Yeah, but it can only hold one round. One round, hey! By the way, the pistol's firing chamber is empty. And it shows the traces of having been fired recently. So, were there any fingerprints found on the gun? Unfortunately, no. Of course, the defendant is known for wearing gloves. You might say that a lack of fingerprints is in fact a fingerprint of its own. Aha! Intriguing point, well made. Whoa, 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 not well made, not intriguing. In any case, the court accepts this evidence. My grandchild would get a kick out of seeing this. No fingerprints found. One real bullet. Interesting. But now it's time to return to our testimony. Okay, no can do actually. That's right, man. The trickiest case of often seems the simples. Prosecutor Gavin, you missed the bullet hole in the clown's forehead. If you hadn't missed that, you might have come to a very different conclusion. Understand? Yeah, but like I just said, pal. After he shot the clown in the forehead, he went and did nothing of the sort to the victim. The pistol proves he could not. The murder weapon? How? It's quite simple, Your Honor. This pistol only holds one bullet at a time. If he had shot the clown in the forehead, he could have shot the victim too. Yeah! That's not a contradiction, not even close. All he had to do was reload the pistol after the first shot. Oh, where did he get this extra bullet? They're not always to come by, you know. You claim the defendant had one ready. Then prove to us how he got it. I had a feeling this wasn't over yet. No, this party's just getting started. And I haven't proven anything yet beyond my good looks and startling record sales. Another lack of humility. What's this? Seems that the prosecution has another witness prepared. Like I said, her detective was just a warm-up act. Ugh. Now the audience has gotten a taste of what's to come. They're ready. Ready for what? For my decisive witness, of course. A witness who you will find can prove one thing for sure for us. That it was Zach Ramery who shot the victim in the forehead. Very well. We will pause for a 15-minute recess. This might be my lucky break. I'll need that 15 minutes to talk to my client Zach. Court is adjourned. To be continued? Very impressive, Mr. Wright. I have to say, I expect nothing less. We have only just begun. I was hoping you could tell me a bit more about what happened, actually. And nothing you would believe me if I told you. Better that you discovered the truth for yourself. I was thinking of you, you know. I think we need less thinking and more talking. The night in the hospital, what really happened? The way your eyes gleam, Mr. Wright. You're scared juicy. Speaking of which, where is she? You have seen the problem yourself, the letter. The one shot in the forehead, one right. Yes, and the reason he speaks of, I could not deny my mentor's wishes, even if it meant my own death. Why not? This is something I will not say, for now at least. What's this for now business? I've done many things in my life, some well, some poorly, but this is a cross we must bear alone to our graves. You wanted to know about the night of the incident? Finally, this guy sure likes to take his time getting to the important stuff. Of course, I had no intention of shooting my mentor. I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time. I found there upon his bedside table 2 pistols. 2? Yes, the one I had used on stage. And the one that had been used by my partner, Valent. Oh, for the second Valent's cooked short thing. My mentor had the look of one sleeping. I stood by his bedside, hearing only the light sound of his breathing. Then I took the pistol into my hand. I cannot deny that my resolve faltered then for a moment. You faltered? You mean you thought about shooting him? Recall there was a reason I could not refuse his request. His last request, such request, though not his first, so there were other requests you couldn't refuse before. To be honest, I have not always been steadfast, and I fear I brought a pain upon Juicy. Was McNiffy coercing his disciples somehow? That's what was going on in the Job Creamery. Yet, in the end, I did not shoot him. Instead, I turned and shot the clown. I took the pistol I had fired and placed it in my pocket. In your pocket? I believe if you examine the bullet in the clown's head, you will find it to be different than the one in my mentor. What were those called? Rifling marks? Yes, well, that is all I have to tell you concerning the case. Concerning the case? You mean there's something else you can tell me? You are a fascinating man, Mr. Wright. Thanks. Yes, there's something. My mentor, his eyes open. What? McNiffy Creamery? The old devil, he was not asleep, you see. Of course, the gunshot would have woken him anyway. And there we had our last discussion as mentor and pupil. It was not a long discussion. Maybe 5-10 minutes or so. What did you talk about? Haha, Mr. Wright. Did I not just tell you? It does not concern this case. Zach Ramery, he seems pretty steadfast to me, or maybe just stubborn. Mr. Wright, your presence is requested in the courtroom. Once again, I am in your hands. Right, let's get back in there. First day back in session. During our recess, a bullet was found in a dugout from the clown's head. But this is news. And the rifling marks? There wasn't time to do a detailed analysis, though they did find the weapon type matches the murder weapon. Well, that's not very conclusive, is it? Which is why I'm about to call my very decisive witness. Your decisive witness. How many times have I heard those words? Though they often turn out to be far less decisive than you think. Oh, don't worry about my account. I'm quite confident this witness will do the job. After all, he's intimately acquainted with the players in our little production. Being the other half of the trope, Gramarye's famous duo, Zack and Valen. Valen Gramarye. So, we get to meet the great McNaee's other support. First, we'll start by asking your name and occupation. Valen Gramarye, magician. And you are the decisive witness, are you? You can prove your fellow student your partner's guilt. Fate, the grand illusion, filled with traps and tricks. Wait, the shooting took place in that hospital after 11 o'clock that night. You're a witness. Does that mean you were there at that late? If one were to deduce this logically, the conclusion is yes. Okay, I always get the characters, don't I? I have an interesting fact for you. You see, several days before the crime, my witness received this. That looks very familiar. Wait. That's the same letter as Zack Gramarye received. Yes, or perhaps I should say, tada! Oh no. What does it say? It's surely not the same thing. Perhaps you should see it for yourself. Remember, still valid to you. I didn't shut test lower my life 13. Come on, 13, 10, 11:20 p.m. Ever ready a gun with which you will shoot and one shot square in the forehead. You get refused and we will. Well, it's practically the same. The court accepts this into evidence. It's most unusual. Eric Sullivan was going on with you folks. And we know both of the reason why. Exactly what's your trope Gramarye up to? By which you mean? You're just having trouble imagining a man who would ask his students to kill him. Both of them, no less. Just my opinion, Herr Judge. But from these letters, I'd say he was coercing them, not asking them. We walked the magician's path together, and in so doing, shared much of our lives. When people are so close, there's a strain and warping of relations, you might say. But this has nothing to do with the case at hand. By which you mean you're not going to tell us. Which makes me wonder even more about this reason they couldn't refuse. Now let's get on with this testimony for starters. The defendant Zack Gramarye stands accused. Tell us why. Oh, I'll do more than that. From where he walks and the red roses rise singing hymns to the miracle that is magic. Fascinating, though I hardly need to remind you that the evidence could just as clearly point to you as the suspect. The leather, the murder weapon. And now, the 2 bullets found at the scene. In fact, the only difference seems to be the design and time. As every magician knows, timing's everything. Yes. Yes, and now it's time to get this party fired up! That night, I visited the hospital room at the time McNaee requested. The smell of gunpowder hung in the room and my mentor had taken his final blow. I can imagine my fellow student might have received the same instructions. Did a deal with the dead is still a dead. That sweet kiss I gave to the clown. Then I informed the doctor and the police. So you were the one who reported the crime? Indeed, I would think. This fact alone would clear my name of suspicion. Let's not jump to any conclusions. Yes, the cross-examination generally becomes before the conclusion in this court. But if your testimony proves to be true, then the defendant, Zack Gramarye, is guilty. And if it wasn't Zack Gramarye, then the killer was you, Valen. And no disappearing act will get you out of that. Okay, let's see here. You give it to a clown? No. There were 2 bullet holes at the scene, one in the victim and one in the clown. You're saying the one who shot the clown was you? No doubt my partner Zack has said much the same thing. Yeah, because whoever didn't shoot the clown committed murder. I better dig around here a bit more and see what I turn up. Mr. Valen, let me ask about something else concerning the crime scene. Namely, the number of pistols. How much did you see? How many pistols were there when you entered the room? By which you mean that precisely. 2 pistols were used in the second bed and could shoot them, correct? One for each for you. You are well informed yet? Only one of my old friends sat in the hospital room that night. What did Zack tell me back in the lobby? Of course, I had no intention of shooting my mentor. I stuck into his room. 2 table pistols, yeah. There should have been 1 then. I see no problem with that statement. Only 1 pistol is visible in the photograph at the crime scene after all. So you picked up the pistol after fired it? Indeed, I did. Alakasam, Alakasing, Alakaboo. Is the number of pistols really so important? Quite important. Number of pistols is quite important, Your Honor. Very well. Please add this detail to your testimony. What can I do but obey? When 1 pistol was in the hospital room that night with it, I shot the clown. Just so not true. Objection! According to the defendant, Sakramari, when he entered the room, there were 2 pistols on that table. 2? One of those pistols he used to shoot the clown in the forehead, then he left with it in his pocket. Of course, this is what he would say. Unlike the hapless clown, we must assume our defendant has some brains in his head. But what about Mr. Valen has told us? You see, there's something about his testimony that doesn't make sense. What might that be? I told you, I took the pistol that was there and shot the clown. That's your story at least. But the rifling marks tell a very different story, Mr. Valen. Recall what Prosecutor Kevin told us. Oh. Mr. Valen, if you fired this pistol, then you shot the victim in the forehead. Oh no, no, no. Well, this is all rather sudden. What have I done? Prosecutor Gavin, I owe the court an apology. Sorry. Sorry for what? You see, I was unaware that the 2 of these unique pistols were crafted. The analysis of the rifling marks only proved the type of gun that fired them. But that's not what you told us before. You said you verified the very weapon. Which is why I'm apologizing to you now, quite sincerely, I might add. Would you hold me accountable for mistake I made in my youth? That was just this morning. I am still young. And I might add it wasn't really my fault. If the defendant had only admitted he took 1 pistol from the scene of the crime, we would not be having this pleasant discussion now. Valen Kramery? Yes, Your Honor. You were presented to this court as a decisive evidence. Witness. But you have proven to be more divisive than decisive. Objection! You see in the time. The testimony so far has merely been a review of the facts. The proof comes next. Care to elaborate now, Prosecutor Kevin? When Mr. Valen entered the hospital room, the victim had already been shot. As his next testimony will prove her right, the real fight is about to begin. Bring it. Very well. The witness will help us determine who shot what. I arrived in the hospital room at that appointed time, which is to say 11:20 p.m. After discovering the body, I fulfilled my obligation, then called in the doctor. The doctor examined the body before the police arrived. He was quite clear about the time of death, 11... Wait, what? 10 p.m.? The body in the room at the time was my partner, not me. Those times are rather close, you have to admit. You were talking about an alibi established over a matter of minutes. This attempt discrepancy as the basis of your alibi. It's easy to explain in this situation, Herr Judge. For example, take out debut single 13 years hard time for love. Cue to the song, press the play button and it will play for 2 minutes 11 seconds. Does it do it 100 times? That the result is the same. The debut single was only 2 minutes and 15 seconds long. What a ripoff. Magic is a word of utmost precision. Hocus pocus requires admirable focus. And in the times of death determined by the doctor, there is an incontrovertible truth. And we can expect the cross-examination to require the same level of precision. We hope the defense refrains from its customarily broad, sweeping accusations. Lest we blur the focus this case so clearly demands. Point taken. Basic remarks will result in a penalty. Carry on, Mr. Wright. Carry on, right. Okay. Something bothered me. Yo, hello, Spirit. Something bothered me about this. Howdy, Spirit. I don't think I'm stepping out on a limb to say I have some doubts about this. How could the doctor be so precise with the time? I see you're 7 years ago. Yeah, we're back in time, baby. And the music, man. Music is, the OG music. We do usually only get an estimated time of death, true. I'm not sure I heard of a verified time of death. Magic reveals in making the complex appear simple, but the reality is the opposite. What appears complex in this case is a simple matter of subtraction. I see another person has done their arithmetic homework. The point here is the IV the victim was taking. It's quite visible in the photograph of the scene. No, you don't see. It's still full and the needle is even in there. Recall what we heard earlier about the victim magnified Gramarye's schedule. During that at 11, Magnifi took an IV trip for 30 minutes. You can see it, the IV bag right there, yes. It's still full, the IV bag. Now look a little closer, follow the tube down from the back to the end. Oh, the needle's been removed. Doubtlessly it fell out when he was shot. That what may seem to be the case. When the needle comes out, the IV no longer trips. Oh, you could just measure the remaining IV liquid. Precisely. The IV liquid functions for our purposes as an hourglass of sorts. This is how the doctor determined the time of death. In the amount of remaining in the bag, it was determined that the IV had stopped 10 minutes after administration began. Interesting. 10 minutes, stop 10 minutes after the administration began. 30 minutes required. Okay. So it was when I violently entered that room. 10 minutes had passed since that horrible crime was committed. And this is proof. Well, Mr. Wright? Did that seem important? Very important. Let's put it in, baby. We'll see how it is. The biggest clue we have to the time of death. I'd say it's very important. Agreed. It would be hard to imagine a more precise way to determine the time. Behold the power of arithmetic. Very well, the witness will add this detail to his testimony. Sometimes the most magical thing of all is the truth. The water of life springs that eternal, the remaining IV liquid proves my innocence. Does it? Did you notice the IV yourself by any chance? When first I entered that room, the stench of a gunpowder assailed me. Next, the mark of death upon my mentor's forehead, and then his left arm did I spy a rose drooping and wilted. It torn the discarded IV needle. Knocked from the vein by the force of the shot. Luckily for you. If that IV had not been there, why, you might be a suspect. Indubitably so. I might say it's thanks to my lucky color. Your lucky color? Indeed, even today I wear it proudly upon my suspect self. For it always without fail brings me luck. Why, when the second Valen won their first Magician's Grand Prix, yes, that's the very one held by the Association of the International Magicians, was adorned in this attire then too, and our trophy a bust, and what a day that was. This is one trip down memory lane that no one needs. My lucky color, yes indeed, that IV too. I think that was huge, especially for me, Valen. That does seem to be the case indeed. But is that a that's a color green though, right? And he has a yellow color, clothes on. Well, Mr. Wright, any thoughts on this testimony? Valen sure looks happy with himself. Okay, how about this lucky color testimony? There's a contradiction. Actually, it sounds like your lucky colors brought you plenty of luck, but not this time. Mr. Valen, your lucky colors betrayed you. I'm afraid you have lost me. Your Honor, the witness testimony just now clearly contradicts the evidence. What? I mean, it's different color, man. Please recall my warning at the beginning of this cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Baseless accusation will be duly penalized. I do hope the latest accusation is well-based. Don't worry, I got all your bases right here. I like how, this Phoenix, right, is more confident. Very confident. There is evidence that contradicts what Mr. Valent told us. The crime scene tells us all, Your Honor. The photo of the crime scene. All this talk of color has been yearning for black and white, clear and cut simplicity. Tell us, Herr Wright, just where is the contradiction in this photo? My pleasure, and I assure you, it's quite simple. But I can't promise anything in black and white. Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What in this photo contradicts the witness testimony? I mean, it's the color though. Valent Cramarie, let's get one thing straight about your lucky color. It's yellow, yes? Kind of takes the mystery out of it, but yes. Something wrong with yellow, Mr. Wright? Yes, there is. Decisively wrong, in fact. Take another look at the photo of the crime scene. What's this? Confusion, doubt? Tell us what your elderly eyes spy. Even my elderly eyes can see a problem here, Mr. Valent. Look at that IV pack. What is this? What? Foul magic? It would be hard to call the IV liquid yellow. And I'm afraid no magic was involved in the taking of this photograph. Alagas. Alakano! Alakano. Oh no, what does this mean? This is some kind of mistake. Yes, Prosecutor Gavin, you witnessed mistake. The greener they are, the harder they fall. Suppose there's no substitute for experience. Valent Cramarie, as you reminded us several times, your lucky color is yellow, but the IV is clearly not. Well, this contradiction can mean only one thing. And to think, you almost had me. I see your true colors now, Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright. Oh, he said it! He said Ace Attorney! Something you'd like to tell us, Prosecutor Gavin? As far as this court can tell, the witness's testimony does contradict the evidence. Yes, a contradiction. One that I shall be pleased to hand right back to Mr. Wright. How do you mean? How? Because the witness has made no mistakes. I agree, at a glance, the IV liquid does appear sort of greenish yellow. But I assure you, the liquid itself is quite yellow. Yellow liquid? How can you say that? As far as I can tell from this photo, it's green. Yes, but what color is the IV pack itself? Back? You mean the plastic back on the hook? It looks like I want to say light blue. Precisely, figure it out yet? Yellow and blue, man. Put a yellow liquid in a blue pack and you get green. This, incidentally, is the liquid's true color. I see. Your explanation does have the ring of truth to it. Oh no. As I thought, there's no substitute for experience, Prosecutor Gavin. What? You may tell a good tale, but you have just proven something rather grave for you, that is. Grave? The liquid in the IV is yellow, yes. But how did this witness know that? It's quite unnatural when you think about it. You did think about it, didn't you? Your Honor, the defense requests an explanation from the witness. At the scene of the crime, the IV liquid appears to be green. So let me ask, how did the witness know the IV liquid was actually yellow? Oh my god! Oh no! Mr. Wright, you will explain this at once. The witness clearly knew the color of the IV liquid, so I'm sure it means something, but what? I can think of only one possibility, Your Honor. The witness, Valent Cramarie, has testified that the IV liquid was yellow because he'd seen it before. In the facts before us, the answer is clear. The witness knew that the IV liquid was yellow. Why? Because he'd seen it before, but not inside the blue bag we see in the photo. He saw the liquid by itself in a clear colorless bag. Suppose he would have had to? But I'm still not clear as to what all this means. Ask yourself, why would he know if he didn't work at the hospital? That's where you'll find your meaning, Your Honor. I'm afraid I feel nothing, so what if he knew the IV liquid's color? Leave the getting excited over absolutely I'm nothing to our teeny popper fans, yeah? The IV liquid is the only evidence proving the time of death. A 30-minute hourglass with 20 minutes worth of sand remaining, you claim, Prosecutor Gavin, and remember it well. However, there's a critical difference between an hourglass and an IV bag. Wait, I know! An hourglass uses sand, but an IV bag uses liquid. Am I right? As much as it pains me to say this, Your Honor, no. Unlike the sand through an hourglass, IV liquid enters the patient's body, at which point, like magic, it disappears. However, what if the amount of IV liquid had increased? You couldn't tell, could you? After all, there's no way of knowing how much went in. Let me get this straight, they're right. You're saying the witness will order down the victim's IV bag? Not with water, but with IV liquid. That's how you knew the IV liquid was yellow. No, wait, I said wait. How might an amateur such as myself essay to perform such a task? I'm an amateur too, but I can pour water in a cup. I'm afraid there's quite a big difference between a cup and an IV bag, quite. Do you prove our witness is capable of such a feat? He has a point, amateurs. I at least would have some difficulty pouring IV liquid into that bag. You don't need to be an eye expert to see the look on the witness's face. He added liquid to that IV to throw off the time of death. I'm tired of today's fairy tales lacking evidence. Well, Mr. Wright, any solid evidence to bring us back down to earth? Then Creamery, I'm afraid your magic won't serve you well in your life of crime. Might I ask what you are strongly suggesting? Magic relies on props, and props become evidence. Our witness must certainly be able to increase that amount of IV liquid in the bag. All I had to do was work a little magic, and the prop was... syringe. Victim syringe? It's the perfect prop for the magically increasing IV trick. And easy enough for an amateur to use. What kind of evidence is that? The syringe was clean, not a trace of liquid in it. And don't you find that odd, Prosecutor Gavin? What? The victim had the syringe to administer his insulin shot. There should have been traces of insulin left inside. Well, Valiant Creamery, as you pointed out yourself, the IV liquid makes the perfect clock. One that you could manipulate at will. Man. To think Valiant in the past, you know, might be the murderer, and now in the future, or in the present time. I do believe, well, with this being his first, that the burden of this trial has been a bit too much to bear for the Prosecutor Gavin. I'm afraid that, while there is a doubt as to the amount of IV liquid in that bag, the time of death cannot be proven. And that brings our trial to a close for today. Well, maybe I can squeeze an extra day out of this. You can do a little much needed investigation work. I see there are no objections. Court is adjourned. Okay. Truly, there's no substitute for experience. Nothing blinds one to the truth so effectively. A word to the wise. Underestimate the young and they'll sweep your fate out from under you. In a way you never ever expected. You see, I know exactly what you're thinking. What's he talking about? You say the witness used the syringe to manipulate the level of the IV liquid. But there's no proof! There's no proof he didn't do it either. Yes, quite true. Huh? He's admitting it. Nor was this witness quite as decisive as I had hoped. This I admit, after all, while lingering in the past when the future holds so much. You have something in mind, Prosecutor Gavin? Prove her, Judge. I have another way to prove my case. With evidence no less. What's this? This is the victim McNiffy Creamery's diary. Diary? After going into a hospital, McNiffy began writing his memoirs, it seems. The story of his birth, his startling debut, and of meeting his disciples. Seems he intended for the last chapter to end quite appropriately with his death. Wait, that book doesn't say what the reason was, does it? The reason why his disciples couldn't refuse his last request? Sadly, it does not. What's important here is on the last page. Apparently, the victim wrote this in his journal that night, and after the IV had begun at 11 p.m. Let's read it, shall we? Tonight's IVs are in. Maybe the last. I leave the rest to them. This does appear to have been written just before his death. The court accepts this into evidence. Wait, how do I read this? Let me read. Oh, I can't read. This last page that ends here. Oh, huh? What's this? Relax, a page was ripped out. Well, now isn't that interesting? Okay, ripped out. This journey may end here, or it may go on, but not long. That depends on his hand. Of course, by his, he refers to our defendant, Sakura Marie. That would make sense, yes. He was the first scheduled visitor after all, but look at what he said before that. His journey may end here, or may go on. It may go on. Activate Grammary Internet to write again. That is, if Sakura Marie didn't pull the trigger. I see the defense understands the meaning of this. The victim's diary does not go on. It ends. Because Magnificent's life was brought to an end by the defendant Sakura Marie. Order! Prosecutor Gavin, are you certain that Magnificent Marie wrote this? There is no mistaking his handwriting. Well, this does seem to be significant. According to this, Magnificent did intend to continue his diary. Yet if his diary ended here, which plainly it did, then the one who pulled the trigger was the first visitor, Sakura Marie. Well, how do you like me now, her right? Still too green for your taste, He's right about the diary being pretty clear. Still, I find it hard to believe that he'd overlook such an obvious problem with his precious evidence. Well, Mr. Wright, the witness testimony we heard was lacking, but put together with this evidence, it seems quite sufficient for a case. If the diary is accepted in like this, the trial is over. Maybe it's time for me to show them something. I'm left with no choice but to show my own evidence. What? You have some evidence that overturns this diary? It's not too late to rethink this and avoid more embarrassment. I'll show you. Very well, please show us your evidence, Mr. Wright. Incidentally, don't even think of showing us this diary I've just shown the court. Now that we have come this far, I hope you have something a little more decisive. Show us evidence that proves the victim's continued writing his diary. Alright, I'd be happy to. The decisive evidence proving that the diary didn't end with this page is... yeah. First, take a close look at this diary. Note that a page has clearly been ripped out. What's this? I hadn't noticed that at all. That's why we're still here talking about this. As it just so happens, I have here what I believe to be the missing page. Alaka, I don't believe it. Looking at this page, it's hard to imagine that the first visitor that night shot Magnificent Marie. That's the defense's position. Wait, let me see that. What in Sam Hill? Why, this is the continuation of the victim's diary. Hew. Note the torn edge of the page. It's a perfect match with the torn remains of the last page of Magnificent's diary. Quite remarkable. Would you care to explain what all this means, her attorney? The diary continued after his first visitor came, which means that the victim was still alive after Sakura Marie left, leaving no one to take his life but the second visitor. Violent Marie! No. The handwriting too matches that on the other pages. This is, without a doubt, the genuine article. Order! But wait, that's impossible. That all men could have written that.
Objection!
Why not? Finally. You just couldn't resist, could you, Herr Wright? Resist what? Presenting solid evidence? Herr Judge? Yes, Prosecutor Gavin? Might I request we put the current cross-examination on hold? The prosecution would like to call a new witness. But, Prosecutor Gavin, this evidence overturns the current witnesses. I asked only to put it on hold. Please, my new witness has a very, very important piece of testimony to give. 5 minutes, no more. I promise, Your Honor. Well, if you put it that way, Mr. Wright, what's your take on this? Well, Your Honor, judging from his enthusiasm, we'll have to hear this new testimony sooner or later anyway. So it might as well be sooner. Then, though this is highly irregular, we will put the current cross-examination on hold. The witness may step down. Now, Prosecutor Gavin, please bring this surprise witness to the courtroom. I had a bad feeling just then. That ripped out page was too obvious. He must have known. Oh no, forgery? And I should have known it was a bad sign all around. Oh no! Oh no! Holding trial with no audience is a first, even for me, Prosecutor Gavin. I beg the court's understanding, but I had to make a judiciary deal with this witness to secure his testimony. A judiciary deal? The details of his testimony may have some legal ramifications, shall we? I thought it best to contain the information to this room. Very well. And you are the witness, I gather. Ah, yes, sir. State your name and occupation for the record. My name is Drew Misham. I'm a painter. A painter? And you are somehow related to this case? No, well, not per se. I have one simple question for this witness. Mr. Misham, was it? Do you know what this is? Oh, yeah. I know it well. How's that possible? Have you seen this diary page somewhere before? Oh, yeah. I mean, I made it. You what? You made it? Yes. You might call it one of my works. The prosecutor's office received a tip of yesterday. Illegal evidence has been prepared for the trial of Zach Gramarye. Illegal evidence? Okay, this is fucked. Initiate identification to have found this witness. A painter to the world at large, Drew Misham has another side, you might say. He is skilled in making perfect reproductions of certain things. Forgeries, in other words. Forgeries? Well, so we are to understand that this page here is a fake. Prepared by a certain defense attorney. Hold it. I didn't prepare this evidence. The attorney speaks. Something about this page I presume, but what is he saying? It makes no sense. After it was you who presented this evidence to us, Miss Phoenix Wright. Witness, Mr. Misham, was it? Who requested this forgery? Who was your client? That, I don't know. What? Most of my clients prefer to remain anonymous even to me. I make the items they want and receive my payment. That's the extent of my contact with them. But there's no proof this is a fake. It's a fake? Huh? To avoid just this sort of problem, I always put a special mark on my works. I can say without a doubt, this is mine. Okay, no, there's... Mr. Wright, you have just presented illegal evidence to this court, my court. It was careless of me. That's all I can say. Oh boy. Yeah, Chusi gave it to... That's all a trap? A fatal trap. Mr. Wright? Yes. Do you have an explanation for yourself? If I did, would the court hear it? Probably not. Forged evidence is a serious crime, and presenting it in court a serious mistake. A fatal mistake for an attorney. Fatal too, perhaps for your client, I fear. Tell me, what kind of defendant relies on forged evidence? The answer is quite clear. A guilty one. Your Honor, wait. I understand that presenting forged evidence in court is a serious crime. You could have told my client responsible for the actions I undertook as an individual. I am sorry, Mr. Wright. Your Honor. Another close call, I dare say. If the prosecutor's office hadn't received that hot tip, everything would have gone the way you wanted it to, yeah? I even gave you a chance. Too bad you decided not to think before embarrassing yourself. I see no need for the further discussion on this matter. The special witness dismissed. Oh my god. So that's how they got Phoenix. Mr. Attorney? Yes? Could I ask your name? Phoenix Wright. Mr. Wright. I have seen and studied many people, but none like you. I'll remember you, Mr. Wright. Though I deeply regret having to declare a verdict in this way, the trial is over. You have the right to fund a new attorney and make an appeal. However, this court must... Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Stack? There is one thing I wish to make clear. Today, in this courtroom, you cannot declare me guilty. It is impossible. I'm afraid that the defendant is quite mistaken. I am most certainly have the authority to declare a verdict on you. Except, tell me, how do you plan on announcing your verdict when your defendant does not exist? Doesn't exist? What are you talking about? I'm talking about this. Mr. Nigmar! The defendant's escaped! Find him quick! Bailiff, close all exits from the building. Undouble, he must not be allowed to escape. That day in that courtroom, a miracle occurred. Defendant Shady Nigma, aka Zach Cremery, did not just escape from the court, he literally unbelievably vanished. Right before the bailiff's eyes. Now, no one ever saw him again, not since that day. This is the Cremery miracle. Nobody was very declared. After all, the defendant didn't exist. That's how it happened. The trial of magician Zach Cremery vanished along with him for all eternity. The mysteries that remained behind were all solved, however, but not until 7 years later. To be continued. That trial 7 years ago was the beginning of it all. This I know beyond a doubt. The mysteries of the past work their magic on the present, but you'll soon be finding all of this out for yourself. Which of Magnifique Cremery's disciples pulled that trigger? Where did the vanishing defendant Zach Cremery go? What dark truth lurks behind the forged diary page? And what about the girl who was left behind? Mason system! The Mason system, baby. The past left us these 4 keys to unlocking the truth. But that's not all. There are 4 keys in the present as well. And when all of the questions have found their answers, the final trial will begin. But first, you must chase the truth through then and now. Think of it as a game. As a game? I, Phoenix Wright, will be your guide through this game. That turbo trial saw me present forged evidence. It ended half finished when the defendant vanished. What became of me after that? As your investigation proceeds, the answer will become clear. Oh, and one more thing. There's something I must tell you. As Apollo Justice has his bracelet, so too do I have my own weapon of sorts. My Makatama! What does it do, you ask? That I would have you see for yourself. Well now, shall we begin? Touch the arrow to switch between past and present. But let's begin 7 years ago in the past. It is right after my last trial came to an abrupt end. Now that you know the game, let's play. Okay. Wait, what the hell? What is this? So we're in the present? Oh, okay. This is very, very weird. Not gonna lie. The nightmare trial was over. And the new nightmare of figuring out what had happened has just begun. I want to wake up to walk away, but I figured I'm the only one who could do this, probably. And besides, I had plenty of time, thanks to the Bar Association Review Board's decision. It's hard to work when your attorney's badge has been taken away. 7 years ago? Okay. Oh, morning. That's young Menti. 2 weeks had passed since then. I called her into my office. Trucy, there's something we need to talk about. It's been 2 weeks since your father disappeared. We need to start thinking about your future. I did some calling around. This is hard to say, but you have no living relatives. So, I was wondering if you wanted to stay with me for a while. Just until your daddy comes home. It won't be long. I hope. Of course, it's totally your choice. If you don't like it here, you can go wherever you'd like. I could look up some places you might like to stay at. This is so weird. Mr. Attorney, Daddy told me about you. He said I could trust you. Huh? Really? So if I stay here, does that mean you will be my family? Huh? I guess so? Getting weirder? Mr. Attorney? Actually, why don't you just call me Nick? Or you can call me Daddy if you like. Doesn't have to be today or anything. Okay, say Daddy. That was quick. Yes? If I move here, I have to switch schools, right? And I was thinking I haven't paid for lunches at my last school for a year. So thanks, Daddy. Oh, and this office, it's a little blah. Little color goes a long way, you know. And Daddy, you got fired from work, right? Don't you worry one bit, I'll work twice as hard. We'll make it through this. Trucy, how old are you? Oh, I'm 8. But don't let appearances deceive you. I'm a young professional. Stick with me and you'll do just fine, Daddy. Thanks. So Daddy, you got fired from being a lawyer, right? You could at least kind of look aside or something when you say that. It's actually kind of hard for me, for Daddy. Oh, I'm sorry, Daddy. Wait, is that Foolish Sprite? My other daddy always used to talk about that. Actually, that's pretty accurate. So here's my idea. We're gonna make a new office. Law just seems so stiff, doesn't it? No one will be my friend at school that way. But that won't do, I guess. I just don't know much about anything other than law. Or even much about law if you were to ask some people. Maybe the problem is calling it an office. We should run an agency instead. You mean like a talent agency? Forgive me for asking, but doesn't that require talent? You got me, don't ya? I'm a professional. Professional? Yep. After all, I am a directly descended from the famous Zach Ramarie. Directly descended is your father. Oh, and now I'm directly descended from the famous Phoenix Wright too. I think an 8-year-old just massaged my ego. Could you tell me a bit more about your daddy, Zach Ramarie? Daddy? Sure thing, Daddy. Which daddy was that again? That is so amazing. The biggest star of the trope, Ramarie, and they're big. The Ramaries. They were on television a lot. Haven't seen them on much recently, come think of it. Big magic happens when you put Zack and Betty and Ramarie together, you know. Once they met a giant waterfall right there on the stage. This giant trout swam up the giant waterfall. Let me guess, there was a giant fisherman waiting for him at the top. I wish I could have seen more of Daddy's magic. Oh, I shouldn't have brought it up so soon. Wonder what will happen to me with Daddy and Mommy both gone. Mommy? Yeah, what about Mommy? I haven't heard anything about Trucy's mother. But I have my magic and a great daddy, even if he is unemployed. You know, I think things are going to be okay. What if she'll talk about her mother? So Choosy, you're a professional? Yes. It's like that thing they say. Baby frogs grown up to be frogs. They say that? I always thought it was funny though. Or was? Aren't baby frogs called tadpoles? Maybe they thought it would be easier to understand that way for kids. How stupid. Right. So in conclusion, you're a professional magician, Choosy. That's right. Well, wanna see a trick? You are going to do a magic trick? Please show me. Actually, I would like to see a trick. The future of the agency depends on it after all. It's the spirit. Ready? Here goes! Ta-da! Oh my. Hey folks, Mr. Hat, I gotta say it's good to be seen. Yeah. Whoa, that was startling. The amazing Mr. Hat, isn't he great? Your friendly neighborhood Mr. Hat at your surface. He suddenly makes an impression, doesn't he? I'm so glad you like him, Daddy. Though my routines do get a bit heady at times. Get it? Heady? My friendly neighborhood Mr. Hat nearly gave me a heart attack. What the hell? It's a... evidence? Interesting. Could you tell me about your mommy if it's okay? Mommy was so pretty. She was like an angel up on stage. On stage? You mean with your daddy? Yep. She was always there with second and smiling. But then she went away. Went away? It was a grand illusion. But she made a mistake. She vanished, and I guess she didn't know how to get back. Maybe so. I cried then a lot. That's when Daddy gave me this. Here. The pendant. This is your mother? She's beautiful. Her name's Thalassa Grammarly. Poor girl, I didn't know her mommy had gone missing. Now her daddy's vanished too, right before her eyes. Hey Daddy, you won't... Don't worry, I will vanish, I promise. Right? You can't even do magic, you're like a backup plan. Daddy always said to have a backup plan. I guess all I read as is a backup plan. Okay, I think that's probably enough for today. Sorry to ask you so much all at once like that. It's okay, after all, we're a family. I just hope you're ready. The Right Talent Agency opens tomorrow. Baby. Baby. Wait, I got so much now. Oh, these are all these too, huh? Okay. What? Are we representing anyone? Me and you. That makes two, Daddy. I think you need more than that to make an agency. Besides, you may be a magician, but I'm no talent. I'm sure there's something you're good at. Polka! Well, when you put it that way. You mean you don't have any tricks? No old standbys? This will not do. A boy should always have a trick or two in his pocket. Okay, I'll think of something. That's the spirit. See you bright and early tomorrow, Daddy. Welcome to the team, Daddy-o. The team? Right. She's taking this well? Very well, It could be an act though, act to be strong. Sometimes when magicians vanish, they leave something behind. That's how Choosy became Choosy Bright, my daughter. To be honest, I was pretty lost those first few days. Thinking back on it, it was a pretty dark time in my life. But Choosy, happy, smiling Choosy, she was my light. Hikari des. Okay. Oh, I gotta go. Okay, I gotta check everything, huh? Didn't think I'd be back here for a while. I didn't want to have to remember that day. Ah, the Mason system. Yeah, how about with weird time travel system? Yeah, the present and the past. It is weird. It is very weird. When I came here on that fateful morning, I still had my badge, but now, like an amputated limb, I can still feel it itching. Where do I start? I don't even have the authority to investigate. Hey, you there, sir. Hey! Down on the hands, floor on your head, now. What's the big idea? My ears. No other unauthorized personnel aren't allowed in here. Look who it is. But that would mean all unauthorized personnel are allowed. Zoink! I just say it like it is, sir, and it's usually wrong. Oh no! Thrown out of the precinct, lost my friends, a micro, and even my wallet. We have met before, haven't we? On a case? 2 years ago? No recollection of that, sir. Huh? For me, working on a case is always in the present progressive tense, sir. Good old Mike Meekins. Yeah, his name was Mike Meekins. There's no past, there's only now, sir. Okay, you are the bailiff, right? Yes, sir. Court Bailiff Mike Meekins at your service, sir. I asked to meet with the bailiff at this court to let the magician escape. Let me try to make this as absolutely clear as possible for you, sir. It was me, sir. But you were a regular police officer once, right? Sometimes bad things happen to good people, sir. Something tells me it's a long story. Let's not go there. So you were in charge of security at the time of the vanishing? I'm dying over here. Ow. Oh, it's a hard knock life, sir. Thrown out of the precinct, lost my friends, my girl, and even my wallet. Guess I wasn't the only victim. Last time we met, you were a police officer, right? In fact, you are still wearing your uniform. Sir, I wish I didn't have to tell you this, but last year, the tragedy struck a rising star at the precinct. Lost my case files 4 times in 3 days. They fired me. That takes a real talent, actually. They don't know what they're missing. So here I am, forced to start from a square one, a lovely bailiff. But your uniform. I took it with me as a souvenir the day I was fired. That can't be legal. So, you were the one who let the magician get away that day? I'm dying over here. A star rises among the court bailiffs, full of hope, then tragedy strikes. Is there anything you can tell me about it? About Zach Kramer's disappearance? Oh, the humanity. That's enough of that. Why, yes, I said it was around 2 p.m. when I heard a commotion in court. I opened the door to see what might be amiss. The door slams open, and some guy's face is right there in front of me. Face! So you saw someone suspicious coming your way. Yes, and I, being a bailiff of little standing, I gave a chase. Chase that silk hat all the way down the hall, sir. Have a diagram of the court building here? Okay. Aha, there's court number 7. That's where I was, sir. All by myself, nary a friend to call my own. Okay, and which way did Zach Kramer's run after bursting through the courtroom door? He ran up like this and around the corner like that. So I with no delay, ran after him with no delay. When I turned the corner, I saw that magic man run into a different lobby. Swiftly I ran, following him. I threw myself boldly into the room. Well, I remember it like it was right here because it was lobby number 2, sir. You ran into this room? I don't see any place to hide in here. Believe it or not, sir, I didn't believe it. Here in this room, the magician gone, vanished like a puff of smoke. Except there wasn't even any smoke, he was just gone. That's impossible. Yes, that word. Oh, how many times have I said that word? Even the sound of it causes me indescribable pain. I'm dying. I'm dying over here! Okay, I won't say it again, I promise. But you have to admit, it's difficult to vanish into thin air. Did you search the lobby? I search? Why the pause? There was nothing here at all, sir. That's right, nothing was here, sir. How can you talk so loud and still be hiding something? A vanishing trick. So Zach was in this room when he vanished. Absolutely, sir. I saw him with my own eyes. Eyes. That red silk hat, that flowing cape. He ran right in here, right inside this room. Silk hat, cape. That's Zach, alright. But sir, look at the room. There's not a single place to hide. Sir, there was nothing I could do but nothing, sir. What about now? Have any ideas? Sir? Ideas about what exactly, sir? If you don't mind me asking. You had quite a bit of time since then. Has nothing occurred to you at all? Hydrate? Do you have any idea what trick he might have used to disappear like that? Oh! Oh no! Cyclops! Well! I should have known. My Makatama, one of my most prized possessions which I got during that certain case. You can show me the locks of people's hearts. If I can unlock their hearts, they'll tell me their secrets. The Makatama starts it all, and the Makatama ends it. Man, oh man. Okay, Mr. Meekins. What do you know? Spit it out. Hey, who? What's with the atmosphere in here all of a sudden? Here's something, and I am going to find out what. Zach Kramer vanished from this room. How did he do it? How, sir? Well, sir, I can't say sir. Why are you so nervous if you aren't hiding something? Well, sir, you see, at the time, sir, I was here and... Listen, it was impossible. What could such a little girl possibly do anyway? What did you say? Just say? Here? Sir, did I just say something, sir? No, you screamed it through that megaphone of yours. There's someone else in the room, wasn't there? Sir, I'm going to have to invoke my right to remain in a state of no talking. It's okay, Meekins. You don't have to tell me who Zack's accomplice was. I know who was in here that day. Lucy! Sir, I never seen that girl until just the other day. Mr. Meekins, I'm not buying it. Sir? Sir, that day, she was here in the room, sir. But he wasn't. You mean you chased her into this room, not him? Sir, in my days as a police officer, in your days, I learned a thing or two. Okay, just one thing. But it was how not to mistake a girl for a 7-foot tall magician. 7 feet. Zack isn't that tall, is he? You have a point. I find it hard to imagine that anyone would mistake a little girl for Sakura Marie. But you saw something. And therein lies the trick. Do you know what it was, Mr. Meekins? Tell me, does this trick look familiar? I think I know too. The amazing Mr. Hat. What's that? That girl's favorite trick. The amazing Mr. Hat. She uses it in her show down at the Wonder Bar. Have you been to the Wonder Bar? So, it wasn't a waking dream, was it, sir? Come again? That night, on stage, I saw a vision, except it wasn't a vision. It was a hat. An amazing Mr. Hat, he really exists! Brah. Brah. I remember it clearly, the details are a little vague. Sakura Marie exited the courtroom. I gave chase and cornered him in the corner room, sir. Sakura Marie, don't even think you can escape, Meekins. Down on your hands, floor on your head. Hello? Something the matter, mister? No, that is... Sir, I'm currently chasing a suspect, sir. Sakura Marie, do you know him? Oh, I love Sakura Marie. His magic is the best. I'm his biggest fan. I see, that's why you're wearing that costume you're wearing. Anyway, that very same Zack came into this room, but no one's been in here except me. But he has to be in here somewhere. Near the sofa, in the trash can, behind the painting, under the rock. So, Trucy was his accomplice. Imagine my astonished surprise when 1 week later, I just happened to walk into a bar and see him, Mr. Hat. I couldn't believe my own eyes. For a while, I thought it had all been a long dream. A dream that lasted a week, but it wasn't the magician who disappeared. It was Mr. Hat. Okay. Though it seems complex, what really happened at that day was quite simple. You were standing by the door, and out came Zack. But that wasn't all. Another person got in on the act, and she was standing in front of the lobby number 2. Along with Mr. Hat. And then that's the beauty of it, isn't it? So, while you are standing in shock and amazement, the magician rounds the corner, and most likely runs through the closet, closes the door into lobby number 1. This is where you come in. You turn the corner in rather lukewarm pursuit, and at that very moment, Trucy runs into lobby number 2. Then all she has to do is to chuck away the amazing Mr. Hat. Sir, I only lost sight of him for the briefest of moments. Then I saw that cape, Sakura Marie's red cape, fluttering like a cape. Astounding, sir! All my days of posing queries and making inquiries and chasing inquiries wasted. It was as if I could see them melting away like an ice cream cone left by the side of the road to die. Or the scattered remains of a messily eaten chocolate parfait. Such sweet sorrows. I'm sorry. I had no idea how much you'd suffer on account of this case. It's an honor, sir. I have apologized to people many times, sometimes more than once. But this is the first time anyone's ever apologized to me. Actually, about that girl. I'm sort of her guardian now. Is that so? Sir, you should know that I harbor no ill feelings whatsoever in my harbor. I'm okay. I let the defendants escape. That's the stone cold truth. Just another step on my way from singing the blues to wearing the blues. Someday, sir, I'll be standing side by side with the great detective Guamshu. Gumshoe. Mr. Meekins, this is a free ticket to the show at the Wonder Bar. If you want it, it's an honor, sir. Sir, I can't count the number of things I have taken from me, sir. But no one's ever given me anything for free. Right, I'll see you in court next time, Stan, sir. I look forward to it. All eyes were on Zach Ramery that day in court until his mysterious disappearance. Now, part of the mystery has been revealed, but the magician remained out of sight. It would be 7 years before I met him again. 7 years? Huh? Borscht Polk. Oh, don't tell me the guy in the first game who died? No shot though, right? No way, right? Press. I'll be taking my leave now. Still have some work to do back at the office. No shot. Am I? Then I guess I'll go back to my piano. To be honest, it's better when you aren't playing. This free chic culinary dungeon almost feels comfortable. Later then. 2 hours left on my shift. Wonder if we'll get any customers tonight. Ahem, do you know who I am? No fucking way, man! Is that really Zach? Who I am? No, but if you hump it, I can play it. Just kidding, I don't do requests. How about a different sort of request? You see, I play cards. Oh, and customer? I was just hoping someone would come in and save me from a night at the Keys. I seek a true competition. I have heard the Borscht Polk Club is the place for this. Maybe? Now I see the rumor is true. And this is... a friend of yours? Wait, he was there too? Ah, don't mind me. I'm just your friendly neighborhood newsman. Ah, he will not be playing tonight. When his business is finished, I shall send him home. This competition will be between us, no others. The Right Talent Agency represents 2 artists, and I'm number 2. I play piano when I start off. It's actually just a front for my real talent, which is playing poker. Don't ask me how I got started. I don't remember. But I'm good, real good. It didn't take long for the rumors to get around. Go to a Borscht Polk Club if you want a real game. That guy's never lost. People don't come to hear me tickle the ivory. They come to watch me play cards. Is this a city poker club? No, it's just a restaurant. We don't play for high stakes. There's no money involved. But real players carry cash, and they're always thirsty. It's a handy source of income for the club owner. Man, if this guy is, you know, Zach Ramery, then let's compete. I'll take you to the room. The hideout, yes? But before we go, yes? Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Shady Smith. Oh, and I'm Parshall Spark, Parshall, news reporter. Oh, and No. Phoenix Wright. Huh? You must always look a man in the eye when you make clear introductions. You still do not know who I am? Have we met? Oh! I was right! Oh my god! No, he actually is dead then! He really is dead! Choose his father, you know, dad is dead! Good! Good! Oh my god! No! It is Zach! As Shady! You can't be, but you're Zach Ramery! Yes, the reincarnation act of the century. Pity I have only an audience of one. You. Zach Ramery? This must be a bad dream. In a sense, this guy ruined my life. You there. Duh? We will play soon. Ready the room? Duh, I will be preparing the hideout for you. Then what if he attacked the girl though? You know, and you know that thing, cheating thingy? Are you really him, the Zach Ramery? Nah, I'm Shady Smith. I'm glad you remembered that. How many years has it been now? 6? In exactly 3 days from now, it will be 7. I caused you so much. I caused you much inconvenience, I fear. Yeah, you could say that. Is she well? Juicy, I mean. This guy ruined Phoenix's life, then came back to try and do it again? Like, bro. But at least he died. You know, this time. But like, why? She's fine. I've got her working already. Hope you don't mind. Hardly need express my gratitude, but you have it. This is why I have come. That and to settle matter of cards. By which you mean poker. Those eyes, he's serious. And despite losing above all else. And so, I have decided that I will win tonight, no matter what it takes. I know this guy's type, and they're dangerous. Whatever it takes, he said. Everything is about the competition. All else is secondary. Perhaps we should take this time to talk before we play. I know you have much to ask me. And you. You competed that day 7 years ago too? Ah, yes, you must have been surprised. Called to a detention center out of the blue. 2. Oh. 1. This is just like the music video again, you know, the case 3. Showdown time. They have shown this so many times. I lost. It's only a game of poker. A game I played for a long time and only lost twice. Who was the first? The man I killed, of course. You choose your defense attorneys by playing poker. Some are hired, others fired. When you compete, you see a man's true nature. You know what I speak of? I know that you do. Chooses power? Juicy, she's in a class of her own. For 7 years, I played poker here at Porsche Ball Club. And I've never lost once. I'm good, but not that good. I win because whenever I hit as a big game, I bring in Juicy. Ah! And she sends me signals. Daddy, he's got a good hand. You might have a chance if you act quick. Better call him soon. Can you tell me what her power is? Judging a person's thoughts by reading their reactions is a staple of performance magic. But those of Juicy's line possess a far greater skill. Her line. Recall, you were the second man to whom I lost. Magnified Gramarye. That was the first time I learned of this power, as you call it. Wait, so you were saying her power is genetic? It's just in the Gramarye blood or something? Blood? Oh! I'm sorry, but it is not something told lightly to outsiders. It's nothing you need to know at this time. Some kind of Gramarye secret, then fine. Fine! Let me talk about this though first. She's 15 this year. She's still trying her best to follow in your footsteps, you know. I see. When I planned my disappearing act, it was the thought of her alone that gave me pause. Wait, you were planning on vanishing from the get-go? Yes, and for that I must apologize. However, I could not be found guilty that day. Because of this. This? A transfer of the rights? You see the signature? A transfer roll. That's Magnifique Gramarye's signature, isn't it? Hereby give the rights to the secrets and staging and performance of my magic to the recipient named below. Recipient Zach Gramarye. Yes, it is I. Wait, this page looks torn. You recall the diary, yes? Wait, it's from there? Oh, don't tell me you sent me the fake one, man. Don't tell me it was you who sent me the fake one. How could I forget? That scrap of paper lost me on my attorney's badge. This is the real page that was torn from the book. Magnify gave it to me that night. You could have told me this earlier, like 7 years earlier. Once again, I must apologize. It was all I could do to prepare for my escape from that courtroom. The greatest of Magnified Gramarye's illusions are true art. As such, they are well protected by this document. Only its bearer may perform his illusions on stage. Sounds like a pretty important thing to have if you're his disciple. As the rightful heir to his art, I too wanted a rightful heir. Rightful. I'm sure you know who I chose as my successor. Your daughter. That is why I have risked all to come here tonight. Russell. Sir! Oh, here you go. What's this? A letter passing the rights I have inherited to Juicy. I would have you sign here as a witness. But I'm not a lawyer anymore. And you need to a public notary besides. Oh, that's the what's the the letter Phoenix gave to Trucy back then. I may not look it, but I'm a certified notary. You are? By day, I wear notary's glasses and I hunt for news. Also, by day, I wear regular reporter's glasses and it's notarized. Notarized? When I take off the glasses, I can't see very well. Your signature, please. This is the first reason I have come here tonight. Ah, I have finally figured it out. Now I know why you have come out of hiding only now. It's been 7 years, you said. Precisely. There's a law that covers your situation. After 7 years, missing persons are considered to be legally deceased. So if someone was to vanish from the face of the earth 7 years ago, they would lose all rights as a living person after 7 years from that day. Not to mention all of their possessions. Exactly, which is why I am here. I risk showing my face in public for the sake of this document. Before my 7 years are up, you might say, I am securing my daughter's inheritance. But do you really need this document? Wouldn't Trucy inherit your estate automatically? Not in this case, I'm afraid. In this case? Yes, I received the performance rights from Magnified Grammar Reed. However, this was done in secret without witnesses. Before McNiffy died, 2 potential successors to his reported were named. Myself, Zach Cremery, and Valen Cremery. Oh, that's why Valen Cremery was super surprised when, we showed it to him back then too. The letter, but didn't open it, Not Trucy. I see, so you do need this document. I have known Brussels since before I vanished. He is a man I trust. Now only 3 know of my report. I took the liberty of looking into Trucy's background. I found you had no other close kin. It is as you say? Okay. I was kind of hoping he could say something about the mother at this point. I know everyone else, but Trucy's mother is a mystery. Okay. The Grammary secret. I have to know more about this part of Trucy's. It's like she can see right into people's mind. The first time I saw her do it, it blew mine. And after you were done having your mind blown, you took her to play cards with you. I gotta use the resources at hand, I always say. Yet I myself have no such power. But Trucy does? Why's that? Maybe Trucy got her power from her mother? Thalassa Grammary. I will not speak of that. Thalassa is officially missing, correct? And I think I know why you don't want to talk about her. Well, Mr. Zack, let me be frank. It is true I do not wish to talk of her. Now, there is another I could care less about. You. Wait! Take care you not end up missing yourself. Oh, shit! Sorry! For some reason, it's extra scary when magicians threaten me. It's building my strategy here. Do I? I think I know why you don't want to talk about her. Wait, if that's not it... What if I do it like this? This person in the photo is Trucy's mother. How did you come by this? Trucy showed it to me. She said her mother was gone. Then it is so. Huh? She is gone. What more is there to say? A lot? Ah, I know. Whoa, you're still here? According to my in-depth research, Trucy's mother magnified Cremery's only daughter, end quote. What? What? Magnifi's daughter? Is that true, Mr. Zack? Russell, you say too much. Ugh. What? Why am I the bad guy? Why? Zack direct him. In any case, Mr. Wright, this discussion is over. Thalassa Cremery, she's the most mysterious of the whole lot. I need to gather me some more evidence, clearly. Well, the prelude may have been longer than the main attraction. Shall we begin our game? My final competition? Wait, what about the... Final? Why? As you said, I have come out of hiding today to make this document legally binding. Once that is done, I shall slip once more underground. Without seeing your daughter? It would be best if I did not. 7 years ago, we played. 7 years ago, I lost. I really lost to Magnify. I do not care to lose to another. And I have heard that you never lose. It's just a rumor. Yes, for it is impossible to never lose unless one has an ace up one's sleeve. As a magician, it causes me no end of irritation. I think a mere lawyer might be out there pulling the wool over so many eyes. Hey, I just signed your document for you. Maybe you could try lighting up? That was that. This is this. For my final competition, I will destroy your perfect record, Phoenix Wright. This will be my final performance. You are warned. This guy is beyond serious. So much for a fun evening of cards. Russell, you may leave. Ah, but it's your last game. I mean, what a scoop. I punch and I punch, but still it is not enough. Hey, I just remember a feature a prior engagement. Toothless gentleman. Oh, and nice meeting you, piano man. Then let us begin, dealer. Dah. You will be witness to our competition. Dah. It is honor for me. Why haven't I seen her around here before? Ah, that reminds me. I saw a familiar face as I entered this restaurant. He did not seem to notice me, however. I think he did though. Gavin. I believe was his name. You know him? After a fashion? Listen, Phoenix Wright. One can learn much from a true competition. Remember this. I was close to understanding it, but I needed more. And I knew where to get it. Choose his mother. I need to meet that reporter again, that was clear. And one other thing. From the moment my final competition with Zack began that night, a name was running through my head. The name of a man now in prison. A name Zack Cremery knew, but how and why? Gavin. Gavin. Solitary Cell 13, huh? Well, Krista, isn't this an unexpected surprise? What errand brings you down to my cramped confines? Gavin. You look well, Phoenix, right? You too, Gavin. Gavin's murder. Life has been full of surprises for both of us. I had no doubt you never expected to lose that attorney's badge of yours. And I bet you never expected to be wound up here. Shady Schmidt was the name of the man you killed. Did you know who he really was? Who he was? Zack Cremery, you know, the defendant. I remember him, of course. But you say Smith was Zack. Impossible. Don't even try to tell me it was a coincidence. What did I just say? Life is full of surprises, don't you think? After that trial, you were arrested and found guilty. But your motive was never made clear. A mistake I plan to remedy. You are not an attorney anymore, Phoenix, right? What possible conclusion do you think this investigation of yours can lead to? I killed a man named Smith with a bottle because I am an evil human being. Isn't that enough? Not for me, it isn't. I need to know why you did it, Gavin. You recall that case 7 years ago? Ah, yes, the trial where Zack Cremery pulled his famous vanishing act. My brother won his fair share of praise and adoration for that trial, as I recall. Genius prosecutor reveals crook attorney, was it? That was when I met you, wasn't it? Was it now? The Bar Association Review Board voted unanimously for the strictest punishment. Unanimous, save for one dissenting opinion. It's yours. It was my brother who was responsible for putting you in that position after all. For 7 years, we have been friends. And yet, I still don't understand you. But right, your friendship toward me was never pure. You suspected me then, as you still do now, don't you? Honestly, right now, I'm not sure what I think. You didn't just brain a guy with a juice bottle for no reason. Tell me why you did it. Persistent, aren't you? I came here because I remembered something. The night of our game, Zack Cremery mentioned your name, Gavin. After that, he was killed, and I asked you to help me. Because I remembered your kindness back when everyone had turned on me. I seem to be in a bit of a trouble. Something like that. Then someone hit him hard. I have to know. Why did you kill Shady Smith? No, Zach Cremery. Okay. There's fucking 5 of them? Whoa, I never seen Psylocke like this. Dark, cold, full of despair. Can I even unlock these things? Man, we need hope for this. Full of despair, he says. Something wrong, right? No, it's nothing. You shouldn't push yourself so hard. Life is to be taken easy, you know. Hey! He's doing his nails. That's the same thing as the... Wait, where's the nail? It's right there. You're thinking what self-respecting man would use nail polish. Not really. I know appearances are a big thing with you. You know what I say? One cannot live a beautiful life without a beautiful nails. First-rate in all things, except nothing less. That certainly does look like a first-rate nail polish. I like the sparkling bottle. It's crystal? You're so drawn to it? Please, have one. It's on me. Okay, we got the nail polish. Very interesting. Give me... Aria Doni? I heard of that brand, and this must be the brand symbol. It's supposed to be some kind of flower. Wait, no, maybe it's a handmade. On a second thought, is that an eagle? Who makes these things up, anyway? You think they try for a clear symbol at least. Interesting. What is that end search? Just like, oh. Just like that? Interesting. What about here? So I can just go back like this too, huh? Oh, I still got these. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I forgot. Okay. True Studio. 3 years ago, True Studio. This is so weird. But, I figured you'd come here sooner or later. At least I done sooner, True Misham. Was it? I haven't done anything illegal. And I didn't come here to whine about the past events. I wanted to ask you some questions. I suppose you have that right. That day, the entire court descended into chaos. Only you stood still, your eyes calmly watching. Admit, it made quite an impression on me. I'm used to finding myself in an outrageous situations. Phoenix Wright, was it? I'll answer what I can. I'm not sure, but it feels like I'm being watched intensely. This is my daughter. Vera, say hello. She's gone. Shall we begin then? Shall we begin then? Should I? What about the... Your work, don't try to pretend you've forgotten. Sure, all you did was make a copy. But that copy might have destroyed the life of an innocent man. I'm responsible too, which is why I have to know. Which is why I have to know, man. And you have to tell me. I knew it. It would be difficult to escape this. Then let's talk. From this place, you are a painter. Not, sadly, a profitable one. I've never sold a painting. It's a source of considerable embarrassment. I would be able to get by there with only me. Your daughter. Your mother grew wary of me and left. I don't want her to grow up needy, Mr. Wright. That is why I began my other occupation, forgeries. Don't look at me with those eyes. I know what it is that I do. More than the half of the paintings they bring me are stolen. And who knows what my copies are used for. But some of your works are in paintings, correct? You may not believe me when I tell you this, but that was my first work outside painting. What? To think it would be used as evidence in a murder trial. I never even imagined the possibility. Then why did you take the job? I was well paid, very well paid. I think he feels worse about it than I do. The past is hard to escape. Honestly, the sooner I can put this behind me, the better. With apologies to you, of course. Sorry, but it's not going to be quite so easy. He's trying to forget what he made. Looks like I'll have to remind him. Well then, ready to tell me about this work you did? It was unlikely anything I had attempted before. I guess it would be a little different from paintings. But it's not what I mean. In all my previous work, it sufficed to create a copy. This wasn't a copy. The client gave me two things that day. The first was a sample page as a reference. Second, a printed document I can only surmise was written by my client. So you used the real writing as a reference to reproduce what the client rewrote? Yes, as I said, it was my first job of that nature. So, who was your client? As I said in court, I do not know. Really? Even for such a suspicious request? If it was me, I'd want to know as much as I could about the requester. I never met them, not personally. Of Psylocke, of course. Seems like you're still hiding something. Something about this work. You're hiding something. Let's hear it then. What are you hiding from me, Mr. Misham? I'm sorry, but I really don't know. I never met the client. True, when I asked the client's name, there were no Psylocks inside. Regardless, you're hiding something. You have to be, otherwise it wouldn't make any sense. Why are you doing this to me? Well, I made my stand. No backing down now. So, what's Misham hiding? The forger. I can pretty much piece together what it is from what you have said. What is it then? You told me what you knew about the client, and I couldn't see any Psylocks. Psylocks? Is that some sort of asylum security or a new hairstyle perhaps? But then they did show up, didn't they? Not personally, those words triggered the Psylocke. I gave it to Psylocks. Psylocks? Now I really must know what they are. So you didn't meet with the client, but someone else did. Maybe the real forger behind this evidence. Perhaps I'm hung up on this lock business. But I'm afraid you have lost me. Yeah, well, I didn't come here to talk about Psylocks. As long as I come to the right conclusion, it doesn't matter how I got there. Your conclusion is... the real forger behind this wasn't you, Mr. Misham. Poppycock? I don't know what you're talking about. That's my work, I tell you. Made here in my studio. Who else could have been but me? That's the real question, isn't it? If the forger wasn't you, then I don't have many other people to choose from. The real forger at the true studio is... Vera Misham, obviously. The real forger is your daughter, Vera Misham, isn't it? Ridiculous, my daughter is only 12 years old, Mr. Wright. I've always been more one for landscapes, not surrealism. Nice comeback, but you are shaking your boots. I got you now. The only two people with access to this studio are you and your daughter. The Psylocke tells me. Tell me you're not the forger, which makes your daughter the only possibility. I feel very much on to the verge of going Psylocke myself. I don't know how you knew, but you're right. The one who made this page was my daughter, Vera, not I. She's only 12, a genius you might call her. A precocious little girl outshining her father. There's been a lot of that going around recently. Let her play in the studio as she watched me. She taught herself in that way. The drafting tools and analytical devices I bought when they became necessary. They're my little girl's playthings now. Do I detect a bit of father pride? So, Vera was the one who made this page. Did you know who the client was then? Actually, the client came once, here, to the studio. What? Why didn't you just say so sooner? But their face was covered and they did not want to talk to me. So, they talked to your daughter? I will speak only with the artist, the client told me. That little girl is the key to our mystery client's true identity. Okay, what do I do now? Maybe I should talk to her father a bit more. Or is it time to turn my attention to Vera? Talk to Vera, obviously. Mr. Misham, I have a request. Let me guess. You'd like to speak with my daughter. Can I? My daughter has never been able one to talk to strangers. She's quite shy, extremely so actually. With only one exception, which was, oddly enough, it was that client. I left the studio while they talked. I returned when they had finished and she was laughing. It was the first time I'd seen anything of the sort. Please, let me speak with her. Alright. Uh-oh. This could be tough. This could be very tough, you say? It's there to get examined, though. There's a... Is that a... What the heck is that? This painting here? Ah, that's one of my lectures for a book. It's not on sale yet, of course, but I thought it might be a good business. So far, I'd like to be able to put food on my daughter's table. Not a thing I know anything about, at least not yet. There's the red envelope. There's the red envelope, man. There's the, you know, it's the pretty bottle. Ah, don't touch that, please. I can trouble. It belongs to Vera, you see. She always puts it somewhere else you can see it. She looks at it often. There's a light pink fluid inside. Nail polish, I'm guessing. It's this red envelope. Ah, don't touch that. That's, it's quite important. The painter's face just changed hues. Guess I better behave. That's an awfully small frame. What's that inside? A stamp? Ah, please don't touch that. I'll get in trouble. Wait. That's second valent? The Gramarys, isn't it? This okay. The post office issued that commemorative stamp last year. And the Gramarys were at this height of their popularity. Not anymore. Not one of them has vanished off the face of the earth. Oh, must be one of the Gramarys, right? Valen, probably? Vera went to see one of their shows when she was quite small. She's been a dedicated fan ever since. Yeah, she's a fan, right? She watched them every time they came on TV until the end. I see. That stamp's quite hard to come by here. I still wonder how she got her hands on it. I think I have a feeling I know, you know? I think I have a feeling. For that, though. It's you and Vera? Yes, yes. We took that one quite recently. I know I'm a painter, why not painting a portrait instead? I've never been that good at people, unfortunately. Ah, oh, right. Okay. So... Vera, where was it? Would you like to have a friendly chat? I'm Phoenix Wright, ex-lawyer and a pianist. Still looking for the keys that say do re mi. Can't find them anywhere. I'm no good at this. I need something to get to this girl. Okay. I think I have an idea. This one, right? And then there's this. My stamp. Hey, she spoke. She can talk. Yeah, so this stamp, how can I keep her talking? Great magicians, aren't they? Isn't Gramarye amazing? Ah. Yes? Oh. I especially like those two at Zack and Violent. I mean, they are just so magical. Aren't they? Yeah, whenever I go to one of their shows, I'm like, whoa, magic, you know? Me too. I love them. They're so cool. It's like magic. Yeah. Alright, she's talking. Not saying much, but it's a start. I went and saw them with father the other day. The opening ceremony at this Gramarye Museum of Magic. The Gramarye Museum. They have one of those. Does it make sense now that they have their own commemorative stamp? So, have you been to one of their shows? Just once when I was little, with father. The Gramarye's on stage. It was like a dream. Disappearing, reappearing, cutting apart, putting back together, they do it all. Yeah, maybe you can keep telling me stuff like this. You know? About Zack and Vader maybe? Oh, sure. Alright, better get asking before she changes her mind. don't go outside much. I like to paint in here. Why don't you like to go outside? There's bad people out there. Well, true, but there's lots of good people too. Actually, I should tell you. She was almost kidnapped once. Kidnapped? Since then, she's been, well, you can see for yourself. She refuses to leave the house. I see. Wait, but that doesn't make sense. She said she went to the Grammary Museum. Why true, in fact? Ah, yes, actually, she was quite insistent on it, much to my surprise. That was the first and last time she expressed such a desire to me. That person gave me a good luck charm. Good luck charm. For when I absolutely had to go outside. Yes, apparently she received something. A gift. From that client, actually. She won't tell me what it was. Father, I told you to keep that a secret. From that client, huh? This I have to hear about. So your father tells me you are good at painting and all sorts of things. I really like painting a lot. Father is always very happy when I paint them exactly the same. So you did this too? Oh yes, that was my first job. Your first. All I used to do was paint the same thing I saw. But this was totally different. The pen slips and the way the writer held the pen and the pressure of the nib. On the nib, I had to use a microscope and analyze it on the computer. She seems happy. Her work was the last nail in the Grammary coffin. There's no one to hold her. They're the best in the world. Huh? Oh, you mean the trope Grammary? Of course. Or give it to me. Your father? But I asked him about it. He didn't know about how you got it. Oh, I guess I just took it. Yeah. Took it. Father got a letter from that person. That person? You mean that letter was from the client? Oh, we talked about the Grammary store forever that day. Sure, that's why I was sent that stamp. I didn't want to just send it back, so I took it. They're a sneaky one, this client. So they were trying to get on her good side. From the real client. So you met the person that asked you to do this job? And you talk with them? What's this about a good luck charm you received? I can't talk about it. Eh? If I do, it won't work anymore. That's what I was told. Yeah, but I really have to know. Okay. Right, time to do some psych unlocking. You seem to trust this client quite a lot, in fact. Because they gave you this stamp? No, that's not why. They listen to me, to my problem. The problem is that keeps her inside all the time. Don't go outside if you don't want to. That's what they all told me. But when I absolutely have to go out, all I had to do was use a good luck charm. Good luck charm that your client gave you? I think I know what your client might have given you, actually. Is this your good luck charm? Wait, no, it's... Oh wait, I think I have an idea who it is now. I think I have an idea who it is. This is the nail polish, right? This, yeah, I think I know who it is then. The nail polish, this was what they gave you, wasn't it? Ah, the same bottle's over there on your desk. Your good luck charm, right? I know who it is. I heard once, cosmetics were once thought to ward off evil. This is a magic bottle. It has the power. Ah, of course it does. I'll just refrain from some commenting anymore on that one. They know who gave you that bottle actually. The one who asked you to do this job was this client. Was this the client? Christoph. This man is a friend of mine. You know him? His name is Christoph Gavin. He's a lawyer, actually. I promised not to tell. I'm sorry, I can't talk about the client, I promised. And if I break my promise, the spell won't work. I don't need a name anymore. I've got my answer. I'm pretty confident in this charm then. I think they might be the devil. Huh? Or maybe an angel. What do you mean? I saw it, or I think I saw it, when they gave me this. I saw the devil's face. Are you saying the client's face looked like the devil's? No, the client was gentle with a gentle smile. So where did you see this devil then? It was so quick, I don't remember well, but that's when I knew that that person wasn't like other people. That's why I believe in my good luck charm. I'm not sure what this devil she saw was, but it's pretty clear that Christoph Gavin has her charm. Well, I think that's all. I'll be leaving now. I'm sorry for what happened. If you want to apologize, try my client, Zach Gramarye. Did I do something bad? What makes you think that? Your eyes, they're sad, very sad. I'll put on my smile next time I come, promise. I hope to see you smile then too, Mera. Oh, okay. Take care. Take care. Thinking back on my first encounter with the young forger, I witnessed something of vital importance that day. Of course, by the time I realized it, it was already too late. It was already too late. Alright. Detention Center. What strange sight doth mine eyes behold? Excuse me? Two men on either side of a single transparent pane. It seems fickle fate has switched sides, so to speak. The forge of fakes walks freely, while the innocent languages within these plexiglass confines. It's been no proof that I forged anything, nor proof that I took the life of my dear mentor. Yet these chains cannot hold me for long. The stage awaits. And what, may I ask, awaits you? A little piano in a cold little hole in the wall. But since you are here, what shall we discuss? The shooting of Magnify Gramarye for one. Who pulled the trigger, Wieland or his partner Zach? His partner vanishes before the answer could be found. If I'm going to get any closer to the truth, this is the place to start. The Fateful. I have to hand it to my partner. He knows how to make an exit. That's a talent. Yes, he made my attorney's patch disappear and he never even touched it. Glorious Spotlight always leaves someone weeping in the shadows. Yet his very disappearance is itself a revelation. Revealing what? Zach Gramarye killed Magnify. It is as good as a signed confession. That's certainly been public opinion's take on it. I grow tired of my cage. The time of my release is near. I must go and prepare. Planning on jumping back into the magic right away. As long as our audience awaits with bated breath, there will be Vaillant, and also, yes, now that my partner has disappeared, Magnify's repertoire is mine. Vaillant Gramarye has a tradition to uphold. Is that true? Seeing this light, the trial was quite good to me, verdict or no, and you can't pay for that kind of publicity. The suspicion on you hasn't lifted entirely, Vaillant. After all, you received one of those letters too. You're just as obliged to follow Magnify's instructions as your partner. So I was, but only Zach Gramarye followed them. Let's not speak anymore of the who shot what. Now that my partner has vanished, the question is moot. I'm more interested in learning something else, actually. What might that be? I want to know what Magnify had up his sleeve. How could he coerce you and your partner to kill him? The trick up his sleeve. Perhaps you do not know. Know what? A great magician never reveals his secrets. Okay. I didn't think it would be that easy. The audience must remain forever in the audience, bathing in the reflected glow of the spotlight. Let's see. The trick up his sleeve. I'm flying by the seat of my pants on this one. There must be a path leading from the evidence to the truth. And that's what I'm going to find. To ask someone to take a life, even one not long for this world. That's just asking someone to commit murder. Yes, our mentor was fond of dramatic moves and dramatic finales. And he got his wish. His life was taken. What weakness could be so powerful as to coerce someone into committing murder? My guess is it was a matter of life or death. Could explain? Your trope lived in a world of showmanship. The flashier, the better. Flashy so often means danger, doesn't it? Let us make this as painless as possible. If you have a proof of this danger, then show it. This danger, huh? Where is she? Why, that's one of ours. Specifically designed for your show, I gather. Single bullet, one shot. What is just suggesting? We are a magician, Mr. Wright, no murderers. I'm not crying murder, Mr. Valent. I'm crying something far more tragic. An accident. Second Valent's quick draw through them. How long has it been since those shots were last heard? Was the shooting cancelled because someone might get hurt? Huh? Of course, what the other reason could there be? Well, it could have been cancelled because someone had already been hurt. Fascinating, my Faustian fortune friend. But tell me, what can you prove with a single pistol? Now tell me what would have happened if there had been an accident. What if one of your bullets took a life on stage? The performance of magic is not concerned with what ifs. It is concerned with precision. Precisely whom do you claim we shot? Looks like I've chosen the right path. I just hoped he walks it with me. Life was sacrificed so that the show might go on, and this show who it was. But that's Zakramir's wife and Trucy's mother. Thalassa, I believe, was her name. Oh. That's right. But how can you say this? How can you say she was struck by one of our bullets? Still in denial mode, hey? Thalassa was at the greatest risk of being shot. And this clearly shows just how much danger she was in. The Rogue Gramarye's performances were very, very popular. So popular they have even made a commemorative stamp at the height of your fame. We're not merely the latest craze, we were an age, a golden age. It's all here on this stamp. There's Thalassa, yes. Trucy's mother is missing, I hear. What happened to her? I don't know. You don't know, huh? A part of his memory is still locked up. There is one thing you're falling to address. What's that? As you say, our troop was a world unto itself. If our leader, Magnify, was so inclined, he could hide anything he wished with ease. But, Mr. Wright, then he would have hid a crime, making him an accomplice. Not a great foundation for blackmail. Valent's got a point. If one of the troop members died in an accident and Magnify covered it up, his innocence would come into question. Find the right address, Mr. Wright? I'm so close. There has to be something. But how Thalassa's death could affect Zack and Valen's relationship with Magnify. See in your eyes, you still have something to say. How can you possibly prove more than you already have? I'll prove why Thalassa's catching tied your hands so completely. Be a person? It's going to take a little knowledge of the players to crack this one. The accidental death of Zack's wife tied both your hands, and this information proves why Magnify held so much power over you. It wasn't a question of who shot Thalassa. Thalassa herself was the problem. What do you mean? She was Zack Gramarye's wife, Trucy's mother, and Magnify Gramarye's only daughter. There was a terrible accident, and the two of you killed your mentor's only daughter. If that wasn't the key to Magnify's power over you, I don't know what was. It was an accident. Was it? An accident? There's no proof, none at all. But Thalassa went missing, and your mentor blackmailed both of his disciples. Doesn't take a genius to put one and one together. Ours was a complex family. You mean Trope Gramarye? The master, Magnify Gramarye, his only daughter, and his two disciples. That does sound like a recipe for disaster, doesn't it? Do not be tempted into faulty flights of fancy. Yes, there was an accident. But that is all it was. An accident. Second violence tore their force. The guns blaze, the bullets fly straight towards that beautiful body on stage. Then crash, zing, pow, into everything but her. Now that is magic. It happened one day when we were practicing, same trick with a new twist. And tragedy. Oh, but as for those whose bullets stole Thalassa's life, we shall never know the answer. Thalassa disappeared from our lives, and Zack was bereft of his wife. Trucy lost her mother, and Magnify his daughter. And that led to blackmail, I take it. It is all part and parcel of the darkness that comes when the curtains falls. Why did Magnify Kramer try to cover up the accident? It was his own daughter who died. All I can say is, it was a critical time for Trope Kramer. Passing of the torch from Magnify to Zack and Valen. We will sacrifice so that it might be a success. Thalassa's death was the greatest sacrifice of all. Yet, even when her life was extinguished, her presence was not. What do you mean? In time, we, myself, and Zack found we could no longer oppose Magnify's wishes. Magnify forced us to perform his art for his benefit. I see, I guess I can understand. I mean, he did lose his only daughter. Do you not find cowardice in his actions? Huh? To decide to hide the truth of your own daughter's death is one thing. But then, to hang that death as a guillotine above our heads? Things were dark behind the scenes in Trope Gramarye, that's for sure. Does Trucy know? She was not told, naturally. Who would want to know that their father might have taken their mother's life? True. I had not thought of that accident for a very long time. I'm sort of dredge up old memories, but this has helped a lot. Not to find Magnify's lair, I should think. True. After that accident, there was one who came sniffing, quite persistently. A reporter. He called himself a newsman at the time. When I spied him lurking about this dressing room, doing his research. Did you happen to remember his name? What was his name? Sorry, I have forgotten. But in the course of his interviewing, he became quite close to my partner Zack. Liked him not. I see. I think I know who it is! His name I do not recall, but he sent the glowing aroma of mint. Yes, whenever he smiled, which was far too often. I see. Thanks for your help. It does no good to interfere with their past, Mr. Wright. You will not uncover answers, only wounds. I'm sorry. I had begun to notice a dark curtain hanging over Trope Gramarye, and I began to realize what I had to do. I had to protect Trucy from that darkness. The reporter he mentioned, the newsman, I never learned who that was at the time. Though, I've got a pretty good idea who it is now. That smile, and the sickly sweet smell of mint. The last flush thin thread connecting Zack Gramarye to this world. Sooner or later, I had to track him down. Okay, True Studio. Sunshine Coliseum. Well, what do we have here? Remember me? Of course I remember you, journalist and meet ex-attorney in Bar and Court. Can I ask what you were doing here? Mr. Michon was poisoned and his daughters... Oh yes, I know. How I know, yes. It caused me no end of grief, to be honest. Journalist wishes he'd track down case just a little quicker. End quote. Were you on the trail of this case the whole time? Zack Gramarye was a good friend. Zack said something to that effect at the Borscht Ball Club. Borscht? What a character, what a man. If a little... No, a lot. No, extremely rough around the edges. Do you think I could ask you a few questions? Oh, you serious? I mean, I'm usually the interviewer, not interviewee. Journalists ask questions, not other way around. End quote. Fine, shoot, I don't care. People have been asking me all sorts of things lately. Alright, first things first about the, you know... this one? Mr. Brasso, do you know this person? Do I know that person? Of course. I was friends with Zack. After all, he hit me a few times, 5 times actually. But still, I never forget his wife, Thalassa Gramarye. Magnify Kramer's only daughter. Do you think you could tell me more about her? Well, why the heck not? was tragic what happened to Chu Misham and his daughter. Forgery is a serious crime and they paid the price. You know what really did them in though, don't you? Yes, a forged diary page. The night I interviewed him, found out something about Mr. Misham I hadn't known. What's that? You know, he always felt like he was being watched. Every day for 7 years. Walls have ears, potatoes have eyes, end quote. Being watched? You mean he felt guilty? No, I'm not talking about feelings here. Huh? You know, I felt watched too. The whole time I've been on this case, no less. Journalist gets tingling, sensation on back of neck, freaks out, end quote. Because you felt guilty? Why would I feel guilty? You felt like you were being watched, huh? I wonder what it all means. Paranoia? Drew Misham felt like he was being watched. You along with him. You sure it wasn't just nerves? Nerves? No, it's nothing so mundane. I stopped paying attention to my nerves a long time ago. But I felt it too. Journalist sure he is being watched, end quote. Don't you wonder why Zach Gremery got robbed out after 7 years? Right after coming into contact with me? He completely vanishes from that courtroom. Then for 7 years he talks to no one, that's all. Then just as the remaining time was almost up, he contacts me in order to have this made. And then he dies. Starting to put the pieces together, Harvey? And you were being watched this whole time? Maybe not just me, maybe you were too. Me? I met Zach through that case actually. You mean the shooting of Magnified Gramarye? No, before that. It's not widely known. You mean the accident? During the quick draw shoot and practice? My, you're well informed. You should have seen me back then. I dug up quite the scoop. I wanted it all: money, fame, woman, and little puppy all for me. I was younger then, and my days and nights smell up fresher mint than they do now. Valen Gramarye did mention one particularly nosy reporter. In fact, I was on close speaking terms with Magnified Gramarye at the time. I knew his daughter too, of course. Thalassa, was it? Really? Then Thalassa disappeared, quite suddenly at that. Magnified wouldn't say a word about it. Yeah, my evil habit got the better of me. Journalist catches scent of the scoop, goes on feeding frenzy. End quote. Set up a one-on-one interview with Thalassa's husband, see? Zach Gramarye. Something strange was in the air over at Drop Gramarye in those days. The whole screwy mentor controlling a disciple's scene started by then, I'm guessing. Thalassa, she was part of it all, right? Come on, you can tell me off the record. Sorry, I don't know. Anyway, I kept prying and eventually became friends with Zach. Sure, he punched me once or twice or 5 times, but over time he came to see me as his confidant. He's been waiting this whole time, 7 years, eh? Waiting for his big comeback, of course. A big revival of the Magnified Miracle. Of course, it was all a dream. Because of this, the performance rights. In the absence of any official documents, he was golden. Who's to say the old man didn't give his rights to both Zach and Valen? So what a while he did, until Zach died, legal at least. The time finally comes, and Valen's like a kid on a Christmas morning. He's getting ready for his show at the Sunshine Coliseum, you know. If the document sees the legal light of day, it's going to put a bit of a damper on the big show. He's sorry one. He's a sorry one that Valen Gramarye lost out to his partner at work and in love too. Love? It's the same old story really. 2 disciples and their mentor's only daughter, but has 3 sides and all of them pointy. A love triangle. That is pretty classic. When you're in a performing trope, that's your world. It's like a family. One with an entire high school's worth of trauma, intrigue, and backstabbing. And in the middle of all this, Thalassa has Druzy. And then she dies. I need to find out more about this Thalassa. So Thalassa married Zach and had Druzy, see? It was her second marriage actually. You mean she was divorced? I hadn't heard this one before. Not quite. Her late husband was a performer too. He died in an accident on stage. Tragic really, they had only been married 1 year. I didn't know. But she was beauty. I still carry a portrait photo of her around, you know. I've known Druzy since she was a little thing too. She got the better deal really. She's got you for family after all. What do you mean? Just reminiscing, you know. Thalassa has another child besides Druzy. End quote. Another child? What? But Druzy has said she was an only child. Ah yes, this one she had with her previous husband. Her previous husband? Her first husband who died on the stage? Yep, they had themselves a kid. Another orphan now. It's another one who slipped through the cracks, no idea where they are now. Thalassa had another child? Do you think I could borrow that photo? Sure, I can be generous on occasions, you know. Well, shit! I won't need this locket anymore. Better return it to Druzy before I forget. People and events all get tangled together and get bigger and bigger. Don't you think? I was too busy wondering about bigger to listen to what you were saying. Sometimes you just gotta accept that you won't be able to untangle it all, I think. Maybe so, but still. I have to do what I can. And I have to tell what I find to those who comes next. Next, you say. I'm not the one who will close the curtain on this little play. Apparently, that's not my role anymore. Magnify. I was just wondering what Petra would think of all this. What do you mean? Haven't you seen it in Druzy? She's got his power. You mean how I can lie to Druzy? That's the same with Magnify. And with his daughter, Thalassa. It's a strange thing, you know, think it's some Gramarye gene. Magnify told me once, back when Zack married Thalassa, he said Zack had good eyes. But not good like a Gramarye's eyes, not that good. I wonder if Zack ever played a game of poker with his wife. Who knows what the Gramarye's secret was? Really nobody knows that Zack's gone. Zack Gramarye. The plot had finally begun to reveal itself. Inspired from a warp in the Gramarye fabric and grew swallowing everything, wrapping itself around the Gramarye's power. Power which passed from Magnified Gramarye to Thalassa to the next generation, and I would once again need to meet the one who bridged it all together. Okay, check mark. Okay, I think we can do this now, right? Have to know more about this power of Druzy's. Okay. The three of you were a team of ones. Not that the entire country doesn't already know this. At your peak, you were the biggest stars around. Yet, there's another story behind the fame, one that not many know. Thalassa lost her life during rehearsal. To you and Vaillant, Gramarye's bullets. It was an accident. It wasn't me. How could I shoot my dear Thalassa? I'm sure Vaillant would say the same thing. Why, it's just like another murder I might mention. Damn you. Her eyes, I love Thalassa's eyes. To think they couldn't read my mind was frightening. Yet there was warmth in them that felt like an embrace. She's dead and Magnified Gramarye has joined her. So she has another child, right? Wonder who the... The only one with her power left now is Druzy. Mrs. Zack, I do not know. I don't need any power to see through that one, buddy. But there's someone else. Someone other than Druzy. Someone who indeed Thalassa's power. Huh, huh, who would I know? Not are slim. It would take a miracle to learn the truth. Or maybe one has already occurred? There's someone else with the power and I know who. Do I? It's not any of these. Apollo? This. Wait, no shot. Wait, I just realized. The bracelet, right? The bracelet. Yeah. It's the bracelet. This boy? His name is, I forget, something weird. Who could he be? An attorney. Attorney? I noticed him when I went to visit a friend's law offices. So what are we to make of this great ex-attorney? You can show me pictures of strange boys all you like, but you could at least say something like, I'm this boy, I could use a laugh. Perhaps you wouldn't laugh if you knew the facts. This might not be 100% proof, but it's close. There's a link between this boy and Thalassa. Actually, it's more about the ring. A ring? Yeah, the bracelet. Perhaps this will refresh your memory. Just happen to have evidence showing this missing link. Actually, I know something. Your marriage to Thalassa was her second. How did you know this? Her first husband, he died as a year after they were wed, yes. He was a performer they met when he joined us Gramarys as a guest in our show. After Thalassa met him, she left the show for a while. And you say she had a child then? I have a photograph of her here. I couldn't help notice what she was wearing when I first saw this. Those bracelets stands out. They are Grammarly family heirloom. This boy wears a bracelet just like the ones in the picture. What? So, that's why what, Mr. Zack? I took this photograph of Thalassa before she left us. When she returned, she wore only one bracelet. I bet I know where that other one went. She gave it to this boy. Her son! Holy! Oh, shit! This strange power. I myself do not know from where it comes. Yet the fact is that it is passed down the Gramarye line. It runs in their veins. What is it? I asked her, Thalassa, once. This is what she told me. Her power responds to tension in others. Tension? If she were to face a person and they became tense even slightly, then she would know, no matter how hard they tried to hide it from her. Perceive! So she could see it. Not quite. This is the strangest part of it all. She wouldn't realize that she was subconsciously detecting this tension without the use of a particular object, or in her case, objects. Objects. Wait, were there something she wore? Yes. Her bracelets. Admit the first time I saw one of those, I felt there was more to it than just fashion. But what kind of power could a bracelet have? I have made a decision. I will tell you all I know, considering it a gift. Well, I hardly need you to tell me at this point, but those two are brother and sister, yes. And the brother too has this power of theirs. But Trucy has an older brother. I wonder what will come of that. Mr. Wright, tonight, after our game is done, I will return to a life of hiding. I would not see her live her life without knowing. Understand, I'll tell the two of them when the time is right. I am in your debt, once again. No kidding. What I want to know is how all this got to be so messed up. Those bracelets are made of a special alloy. It is said to expand and shrink very slightly in response to body warmth. So they're temperature sensitive or something. Yes. This is how they can shrink to the exact size of their various wrists. And this has something to do with the power? What have I told you? The Gramarye power reacts to tension in others. When a Gramarye senses tension, they too become tense. This tension translates into minute contractions of the muscles. So minute they cannot sense it on their own, their muscles. Oh, so that's what the bracelets are for. With a bracelet on, one can sense these contractions. Because the bracelet is always a perfect fit. So when the person there watching gets tense, the bracelet feels tighter and on their wrist. Precisely. But that alone doesn't really count as a mind reading. I believe I understand how the process works for them there. It's a simple question of eyesight. Eyesight. I guess that sounds simple enough. Have you ever heard of a kinetic vision? Something about the ability to see moving objects with full clarity, right? I heard it before. They say athletes can see a moving ball like it was stopped if they focus. Oh, but it's not confined to sports alone. It all relies on the ability to focus. When we focus, we can see many things. The faintest twitch of the face and the meaning that lies behind it. Therein lies one of the secrets of magic. One must know the mind of a crowd before one may distract it. So basically what you're saying is the Gramarys can see really well. For them, seeing is more than believing. It is knowing. Their power relies on their eyesight combined with exceptional focus. Things are starting to come into focus for me too. Of course, it is difficult to maintain such a level of focus for any length of time, but what if someone could tell you when to focus? Oh, something. Precisely. But wait, Juicy doesn't have any bracelets. You are talking about poker, yes. The timing of when to focus is so elementary, she probably does it without thinking. I doubt Juicy herself has realized this. That is all I know of the thing's Gramarye. Thank you, Mr. Zack. This boy's bracelet is the real thing, then he will use it before long, thereby awakening his power. Keep that in mind. Well, shall we play a game? Ah, I've said so much. Let me say one more thing. I will tell you of that night. That night? The night my mentor, Magnified Gramarye, passed from this world to the next. There were 2 pistols and 2 letters sent. This was Magnified's test. Test? In his last years, Magnified Gramarye worked out to the bone. No, to the pain. But that night, I could not shoot him. So I shot the clown's forehead instead. This, it seems, was the correct answer. Take this. I give my art to you, Zack. What? It is thanks for playing along with my show. You shot well tonight, Zack. Though I would not have minded dying by your hand. How could I shoot you? You're my mentor. Bah! I thought you might say that. If I went home without shooting anything, what would you have done then? Then of course I would have given Valen his chance. And if I had shot you in the forehead instead, then it would be over. If you or Valen were to shoot me in the head, then I to the darkness would go and my art with me. Feeling end, don't you think? Ah. Yet this ending too gives me no cause for regret. I thank you, Zack. And I'm sorry, I have done much that was wrong in my day. It seems to me that Magnify wanted you to be his successor all along. That's why the time he gave you was the earlier than Valen's. Perhaps, but it is not something we will ever know for sure now. Wonder, what is Valens up to these days? Waiting for you to die? 7 years passed like this, the performance rights goes to him. Ah, now here I am, and his dream is ended. It's worse than that, actually. Public opinion's a fickle thing, you know. What? You don't mean to tell me they have put the blame for our mentor's death on him? The trial ended when you vanished, Mr. Zack. There were even rumors that Valen had helped you pull it off. But that's that madness! Well, it seems that before I can once again disappear from this world, I have one more act to perform. Isn't it odd that sorting out my life should prove so complicated, even though I'm dead? That night, Zack Gramarye was killed. He died as Shady Smith, a mysterious traveler with a secret past. But he left one thing behind before he parted. This. To whom it may concern, 7 years past, I, Zack Gramarye, murdered my mentor, Magnified Gramarye. I apologize for the trouble caused by my sudden departure from court and hereby confess to my crime. His confession to use as I saw fit. Of course, he killed no one. This was his way of tying up loose ends with his old partner, Valen Gramarye. Hew. Ah, Sunshine Coliseum. Well, this is a blast from the distant past. Long time no see, Mr. Valent. 7 years has it been? Frankly, I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Actually, I came because there's something I want to ask you. I've spoken to the press. I have nothing more to say. I've spoken to a lot of people myself and come to some conclusions. But then I realized I needed to hear it from you. I have walked a difficult road these past 7 years because you couldn't perform magnified reporter. Do not be deceived. Talent skill is the real deal. I do not require my mentor's hand-me-downs. It was my partner who slowed me on my way. Zachary. His rather well-performed disappearing act 7 years ago was the end. Or so I thought. Zachary murdered our mentor and fled to escape punishment for his crime. You said something to that effect 7 years ago, didn't you? I remember it as if it were only yesterday. Yet that was not the way of it in the end. For while he vanished, the suspicions upon my own person never did. His partner Zack vanished to protect him. It's what those thieving magpies of press said. I had no idea. Yet that very same person comes to me now, fainting interest. To cover the greatest magic show in history as if it were a vaudevillian distraction. And here must I stand smiling at them all. What am I if not a player in some fiendish farce? Might I suggest it's because you never made it clear what happened? Magpie's death is still a mystery to this day, which is why I came here to get the answer from you. I knew I'd be seeing this sooner or later. The audience has no business stepping upon this stage. They must be content to sit and stare at the spotlight. That sounds an awful lot like something I heard 7 years ago. Okay. That's what you will get nothing from me. I'm as much a part of this affair as you are now. I have to know what happened. For 7 long years, I have endured. Now, finally the curtain lifts on my new golden age. All the miracles of our trove within my grasp. Sorry to do this, Valent, but right now I need answers. I think I'll start by dropping a bomb that should shake things up. Valent, I wouldn't be so sure about those miracles. Not as long as I have this. And what might that be? I see it bears the Grammarized seal. I should have brought this to your attention sooner. But I didn't imagine you'd be planning your comeback quite so fast. What is this? A document showing the truth recipe and of the performance rights to Magnify's miracles. What? Zack Grammary, he wrote this? What? He passed everything to his daughter? Shuzi Enigmar. Actually, she's officially my daughter these days. Preposterous, Zack! Zack is gone, vanished into the void. This is the genuine article. Zack was alive when he wrote this. Both myself and the notary can testify to this. Ugh. Oh! Why? What has the fate toyed with me so? Why must my life be lived in thrall to the dead? You're not the only one with that problem. But he shot Magnify. Yes, it was Zack. It was. And then he left. And my career as a magician fell into darkness. Did you think there might be some way out of it? Say if you could prove Zack Grammary shot Magnify. Was that why you testified? Yes, my way out. It should have been my way out. But it might not be too late, Mr. Valent. All you need is a way to prove your case. Pause. We have the answer to your prayers right here. Zack Grammary wrote one more thing before passing on. But this is a confession, in which he admits to killing one of Magnified Grammary. See, all according to your plan. I am a magician by trade. Deception is my life's work. I fooled the audience, give them a feeling dream. Yet it seems the tables have turned. Now I am the audience, believing in the deceptions I have wrought upon myself. Zack wrote this right in front of me. After I explained your situation to him. Alaka. Kazumai. You do know that this confession is nothing but lies. Yes, it's my opinion that Zach Murray killed no one. Then you must be thinking that truth is a simple matter of elimination. Two received instructions to kill, but if one is innocent, then the one who remains is guilty. That would be the logical conclusion, yes? So he vanished to protect me, his partner. A staring tale, it is true. Just shoot Magnified Gramarye in the forehead. If I had and I told you, what would you do? Run to the police per chance? Do as you will. There is nothing left for me now. It is true, after all. I have little talent. I need my mentor, Magnify Reporter. It was as if a little demon grabbed hold of me. I knew it. So Valen Gramarye did kill the great Magnify. So sorry, Mr. Wright. But it was not I who shot my mentor. What? But if it wasn't you, then who was it? There wasn't another disciple, was there? Another disciple, such as, I don't know, Knack and Talent Gramarye, maybe? Your wild fancies couldn't be further from the truth. Only Zack and Valen received those threatening letters. But there was another. One more person could have fired that pistol that night. I don't suppose you figured it out by now? If it wasn't Zack or Valen who shot Magnify, they had to be the only other person at the scene, which mean... Wait. You don't mean... Yes, the great Magnified Gramarye himself. Suicide? So Magnified Gramarye committed suicide. You find it hard to believe? To be honest, I hadn't even imagined it as a possibility. When I arrived that night, the old man was still alive. He appeared to be asleep. I could not shoot him, but when I turned and made to leave the room, the old man called out to me. So you spoke with Magnified Gramarye? Yes, and this is why I knew what he had done. Magnified transferred the rights to his repertoire to my partner, Zack Gramarye, not me. I see. Then I guess I owe you an apology. I always thought you were the one who did it. You owe me no apology. Huh? My crime was, in a way, more serious than that of a murder. What? Your crime? Is Valen Gramarye confessing something to me? What could be more serious than murder? You see, I knew that 2 letters had been sent. There are no secrets between partners. It was easy to find out. That was when I understood Magnify's plan. He wanted to die by one of your hands? Little did I expect it had anything to do with the rights to his repertoire. That was when I heard it. The little demon whispering inside my heart. The demon. Let me confess, I had intended to shoot Magnify. And I planned on framing my partner for the crime. What? What? That night, I prepared something before going to Magnify Hospital's room. Which was IV fluid, of course. I'd seen it on an earlier visit. If Zack did not shoot, I would do the deed. Then, I would use the IV liquid to place the murder on his hands. That's my plan. But you didn't shoot him. I could not. The demon in my heart fled when the moment came. But then Magnify called me back. I'm sorry, Valen. I am giving my magic to Zack, not you. You still lack the draw he has. Please, help him if you can. I left the room. And then I stopped. The shock of what I had just been told consumed me. That is when I heard that fateful gunshot. Magnified Gramarye killing himself. Then the demon awoke anew within me. Zack killed him, he was the one. Frame him, and the magic will be yours. I altered the scene of his suicide. I took the pistol from his hand, wiped off the prints. Then I used the syringe to add the IV liquid I brought. So in the end, things happened pretty much as planned. Magnify died and you framed Zack for his murder. As planned, indeed. Of course, the outcome was somewhat different than I had anticipated. Well, what do you think? Do you believe my story? Can it be believed truly? That was 7 years ago. I don't know what to believe, but... Yes, I'm glad I heard it from you, Mr. Valen. Thank you. It is I who should be thanking you, Mr. Wright. Only when I had lost everything I could, I make my decision. You're going to turn yourself in? My partner may have vanished, but not so my guilt. And as my guilt stays, all else begins to leave me. My friends, my performance, rights, my magic. I had enough of vanishing acts. I understand. I thought my life was ruled by dead men. But I find I was wrong. For Sakura Marie was alive. But not anymore. And now you're a curse to me. But if he was not the only one who survived. What do you mean? You see, now that I think about it, I realize that being there was so proof of her demise. Oh, shoot. You never saw her body? Her. The mind races and the mouth flaps on my apologies. Forget this matter. I can only hope that the day will come when I again meet my partner, Sakura Marie. Then I shall apologize for my terrible mistake. I'm glad we had this chance to talk. Thank you. Sakura Marie, Shady Smith, whichever name you prefer, he's no longer with us. The truth revealed in that trial was only a sliver. And the impenetrable darkness that remained has taken another life. I knew what I had to do to push back the darkness for good, and it would involve paying that man a visit. That man. Solitary Cell 13. Sorry, sir. Prisoner Christoph Gavin is currently occupied. I see. Do you know when he'll be finished? Is that a yellow leather? Hey! Well... Could you go find out? Certainly, sir. Please wait here a moment. My apologies to the guard, but there's something I need to see. Yellow leather. There it is, the yellow envelope. And the sender is True Misham. I was right. If this is the last letter that True Misham wrote, then there's something I need to do. The last thing I need to do, in fact. Here it goes. Let's see if this Actor Kunai spray finds anything. Oh. So this was True Misham's messenger of death. It was this stamp, alright, no mistaking it. And his last letter was sent to Christoph Gavin. Did your request came like you said it would, and they're looking into a case? I swear my life I won't tell them about you, so please release the spell you put on my daughter. I'll write a letter with a report. Gotcha. Finally, decisive evidence. What's this? A burglar in jail? Gavin, I didn't know you moonlighted in our larceny, right? Gavin, there's something I have to ask you. Can I steal your stuff? The answer is no. My apologies, but there's not much I care to discuss. Vera Misham hasn't received her verdict yet. Do you follow me, Gavin? There are no known survivors of Achukunai poisoning. It never hurts to hope. Okay, I'll be leaving now, then. Right, wait. Yeah, Gavin? Would you mind leaving that letter? It's private. Oh, sorry. Forgot I had it. Many thanks. Oh, ho, 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 ho. We have now seen all the clues in this case. Clues I gathered over 7-year-long years. Now it is time. Every story has an ending. We come to the final chapter, the final trial. Find the truth. You are the only ones who can. To be continued. Save the game. Man, that's a long ass. Okay. Okay, guys, let's stop it right here. Unfortunately, I can't go any longer or further. God damn it. I got a super early shift tomorrow. So it looks like tomorrow will be the finale. Man, I couldn't finish it today. Well, it is what it is. Can do it, can do it. So tomorrow, Friday. Tomorrow, Friday will be the end of Apollo Justice. And then we're going back to Pokemon. But with that, guys, I wish you all a happy Thursday. I'll catch you all tomorrow for the finale of Apollo Justice. Alright? Bye-bye!